welcome back to VCT Pacific. We're now on to the second match of the day, Talon versus Paper Rex match. And while Talon are coming off of a good win versus Team Secret, is it enough against a team like Paper Rex?
That is the big question. I mean, Paper Rex, this is one of the biggest challenges that you can get if you are Talon. This squad, well, yes, they have had their ups and downs here in Stage 1. You know, a hot start with Jing on the return, but then some stumbles in that series versus Team Secret. Obviously, they're a beatable squad, but there's still a lot of work to be done if you're going to be a team that can take down Paper Rex, because when they are on, they are absolute world beaters.
Yeah, when they are on, that's the thing. You know, these teams can really go head to head. But for Paper Rex, yeah, I think that's the main thing. You know, they're looking for that consistency. Are they in that classic, like, you know, world beater top form, top Paper Rex, the Paper Rex that can go on and take down like champions, for example? I don't know if they're quite there yet. I feel like there's still like a little bit of an adjustment period for Jing. You know, on the stage, they're trying out new things. It's always fun, but are they making the right reads, the right calls for those rounds?
Yeah. That is something that does worry me because, you know, just because Jing is back doesn't mean it's like, okay, let's go, W Gaming all the way again. There's still a desync that happened, right? There's still time that was lost.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you pivot away and you start working, you know, very heavily with a completely different player who has a very different play style, and then you pivot immediately back to the old plays, there's still going to be those stumbles. That's why I actually thought that Paper Rex was going to have a rougher beginning to the stage than they did. They kind of peaked, had a little bit of that like re-honeymoon phase, and then, you know, kind of stumbled a little bit as well. But also, I mean, Secret just consistently has good reads against Paper Rex, it would seem. But yeah, it's going to take some time. You know, I think we're seeing flashes and echoes of that Paper Rex that did make the second place finish at Champs last year, but it hasn't all come together at the same time quite just yet. It's not that unbeatable, you know, hive mind squad that just nobody was able to take down in 2023. We're seeing moments of it where that comes online, and you know, you get these classic line free clutches, you get some crazy moments out of something, some insane, you know, wrist breaking flicks, that kind of stuff. But it's not all the time. It's not as consistent. So that's what we're looking for Talon. It has been a fairly steady upward trajectory for this squad who continue to find their footing here in Stage 1.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the young Thai boy with a mullet, as the poster just said, is a big part of that, right? Quack, how are we feeling about Talon, especially since...
literally ripped off a line that I said to make a sign, but I appreciate that.
You should trademark that. You should get commission for that sign.
Yeah, I get a percentage of the capsule sales.
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah. You are invested now.
Hey, I'll start showing for Talon.
The Talons, and then they'll pay you to, like, no, don't predict for us because they might lose that. Talon, they look incredibly good. I feel like this is a team that, you know, yeah, you've got Jit Boys. He is pretty much the best player on the team, although you might also think that Governor and Ben are right up there with him. They are incredibly strong and very capable of things, sometimes a little bit wild. That's the only thing. Sometimes you might have Ben looking for an opening kill, or Governor being incredibly aggressive, just dashing out there, kind of like what Jing might do. And that's the craziest thing about these two teams, is they're still kind of looking for that consistency. There's always a lot to be said. There's always a lot of impactful moments, even from the coaches as well.
Yep.
And there's so much that they can pull off. I do think that Talon, though, has a lot more structure, a little bit different from Paper Rex in that sense, because Cruz is a very cerebral IGL.
Yeah, for our audience down there in the COEX Shinan Card Ardium, you are going to have quite the show because the coach cams are like the biggest thing on the screens, and these are the two coaches that you definitely want to be watching. But I do wonder, Achilles, like what Talon need to do against Paper Rex, because like, do they meet Paper Rex with equal aggression, or do they fortify themselves?
It's hard to say what is the best way to go about this. I mean, because so few teams have been able to really take down Paper Rex in the past. Talon, you know, we know that they do have the firepower, but sometimes fighting fire with fire is not necessarily going to be the thing that ends up working out for you. Because PRX, I mean, we've seen it, you know, many times.
That's a big fire.
Yeah, it's a huge fire. It's a big dumpster at times.
Yeah, it is.
But they always get, you know, they get their wins. Sure. I don't mean to insult them, but sometimes you watch them play and you're like, man, this should not be working, but it is, and it's just because the players are so good at thriving in the chaos. So if you're gonna try to go toe-to-toe against them in that regard, that's where things could get a little bit rough for you. I think that we're gonna be seeing a lot of proactive interjection from the coaches on both sides here. I think if Talon get out to some kind of early lead, you're absolutely going to see Alex getting in there saying, you know, turn your brains off. This is where we're
Turn your brains off.
Yeah,
It works for
is what he
that
said in the past.
team.
Just say,
Yeah.
stop thinking, just play the game. You know, get into that flow state. You know, we'd see players do, and you know, who've talked about flow state Valorant. I think a big example from Americas the other day was actually Jogamo with that ace that he pulled off in Ascent. And that's where you're not really thinking about where the next person's coming from. You're just relying on your game sense. You're just going off of your instinct. That's what Alex wants from his players. On the opposite side, Frost, I mean, we've seen him go out with some very early timeouts because he won't like the comm structure that's happening in game. He won't like the way that they're playing, you know, or the way that they're moving away from what the game plan was for a certain set play. Because he says, okay, we have this read. We know that they do this on round 6 or whatever. You know, we're not sticking to the game plan. Let's get back on course. So I think both coaches, we're probably going to see a lot of timeouts invested here.
I'm just getting like flashes of, you know, Achilleos going Top Gun Maverick, like, Rooster, don't think, just do. and that's exactly what they will do, you know, in the game, Paper X at the very least. But that's the
Take
other
the visor
thing.
off, Luke.
Yeah, for these two players, you know, Devi and Ban, I feel like there's a lot of focus on how they can play because Devi has, you know, been the secondary clutcher a little bit for Paper X in the past if Mind Freak's not up there. And then meanwhile for Ban, last week, that was a whole different look. I mean, he was on a tear with that Yoru, and that's just why I feel like map picks is going to be very important because if Paper X leaves a map like Breeze, Icebox open, they're going to be in a world of hurt.
Well, as we are about to get into our map select, I like that you brought up flow state because I think for Paper X, that is their style. Like for those 5 players, that is exactly what you can do. You can't do it all the time. Maybe like, for example, an org like T1, a team like T1, they can't exactly get into flow state just yet. But for Paper X, that fits them exactly. So as we get into our map select, I'm thinking right off the bat that we have both teams banning Breeze. Talon, I am not quite sure. PRX probably ban Ascent because that seems to be their constant. What are we feeling here?
I don't want Breeze or Icebox. I don't want to, you know, Paper X playing against Talon on Breeze again, or like against that ban Yoru on Breeze. That will be very, very difficult for Paper X.
This is off topic, but every time I see Alex wearing this hoodie, the first glance, I think he's wearing like a Leviathan hoodie.
I see that. I see that. No, and then there's that swirly sort of like,
Yeah,
you almost
like
think it's
a-
that Leviathan, you know, logo.
But okay, it is going to be
Okay,
split,
Breeze.
taken away by Talon. Breeze, understandably and
Good call,
expectedly
Alex.
banned by Paper Rex. So Lotus is open. I mean, obviously a map that Paper X are going to be incredibly well versed on, but one that Talon feel like they have a solid read. I think that, you know, especially if they're going to be throwing that Neon into the mix, we could see some really breakneck speed gameplay coming through. But Bind is left open. Paper X, this has been a solid one for him.
Look at Frost swinging that pen around, like almost a little bit nervous. I mean, that's a very big thing. You're picking on Lotus, you're kind of going all in on that. You're not entirely sure what Paper X will go in on that second map, so you're maybe foregoing that even, or you're just gonna try to prepare as much as possible and predict what they might pick. Bind will be a little bit difficult. Sunset as the last one.
That gets spicy if this goes the distance. And
Yeah.
I said before, I feel like this could end up being a 6-mapper. I was very much wrong in the first series. We'll see if Talon are going to be able to deliver on it here from the outset. I mean, both teams a handful of times playing on Lotus here. Paper X, you know, half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that Sunset, especially when you're up against Paper Rex. I almost feel like maybe Talon should have left Paper X to ban out Ascent, which they probably would have. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe they have something planned for this. Maybe they left it open for a reason.
It's a very different play style compared to just about any other team that you're going to be scoring off against when it comes down to Sunset, just given, you know, how Paper X, the comps that they like to experiment with going over there, and who knows, maybe they have even more stuff up their sleeve to kind of
Sneaky Sage
surprise us
walls.
with. So, yeah, I mean, the Sage just continuing to crop up for them, that could be something that just continues to be worked in and really slow things down to a snail's pace on Talon's side. But this first map, this should be nothing but fast pace. I don't think Paper X are going to stray too much away from the usual composition. Maybe they decide to pivot something off the jet back over onto the Reyna, perhaps, but that's about the biggest adjustment I would see them coming through with. But for Talon, that Neon Chamber comp, like if they're going to keep running with that, this could just be a huge amount of just early clashing round over round. I mean, you know, we could average like 30-second rounds throughout this map.
I do wonder if that, you know, that Neon comp is really just that one-off thing that they wanted to pick up from Zeta, but Going up against a team like PaperX, you know, you're expecting Forsaken to look for some of these lurks. You're expecting PaperX to be peeking out a lot, which is why I do feel that this is one map where you're expecting Cruz to come in with a lot of great reads. You know, he's playing that fade. He's been such a good caller for the whole squad. I'm expecting them to play, you know, not entirely fast. You know, you're not fighting fire with fire against PaperX on this map.
And you don't want to in that
no,
case,
really.
right? I mean, when it comes down to the aim duels, you kind of want to step back a bit when it's PaperX. My eyes, though, you brought up the Neon. My eyes aren't governor for this match, especially since he's up against Jing something,
yeah.
Forsaken, right? And he's been
Yeah.
wanting to prove himself on this stage, you know, coming over from Tier 2 NA. This is it for him. This is an elimination match. This is as high as the stakes can go for him, so he's going to have to come up huge.
They really do have to start out strong on Lotus.
No, I mean, for sure. I mean, on all of the maps, realistically, versus
Yeah, true.
PaperX. I mean, they do come into this one as the underdog, you know. PaperX, they've been a team who's always up here. Talon haven't really hit those heights. It's the same roster that was in that second place in that grand final of champions last year. So, of course, PaperX comes in with a lot more stock behind him, but Talon have looked good, and it all can start with Governor if he is going to be playing that Neon. So I'm really curious about this agent select because, you know, he had a huge start to the season generally on Neon at kickoff, dropped over 30 on Breeze. Didn't really get to see Neon from him at all until he brought it back out on Lotus, and it looked good. It was like, okay, these are those shades of that first, you know, debut Neon game that you had. This is that kind of impact that we're looking to see. And one of the other things that I actually quite like about it is that the Neon does give them a lot more tools to try to slow down PaperX, and PaperX is also going to be running that Jet Rays still, because you have those relay bolts. You can go ahead, chuck those at the start of the rounds, and really try to set up to just dictate pace and take space for the squad.
Yeah, and I feel like right now, Talon could potentially do this, especially since, you know, they're a team that prepares very well for their next opponents, but again, it's PaperX. So gentlemen, please let me know your predictions as we bring them up on the screen. You can explain the logic behind them, but I feel like only William and Asteroid really do need to explain
Their logic.
their logic. Maybe Asteroid not so much, just because it's like, oh, I'll see her or whatever. But for this match, question mark?
Look, do I think it's possible? Absolutely. PaperX, they're not the 2023 untouchable squad. You know, when we were just talking about this, it's taken some time to try to get back into that hive mind flow state gameplay where everyone's on the same page and they barely need to communicate with one another. They have had their stumbles, but so too have Talon. And I think that Talon are significantly more. They're more of a team that if they are going to get pushed, that they will stumble and maybe not even be able to recover even with coach intervention. We've seen them bring things back in, you know, rein it in and get themselves back into the mindset. But PaperX, you know, we've seen so many times where they are down, they're looking defeated, it's looking like it's going to be a wash. Alex just pumps the brakes real quick, turn the brains off. Just don't put too much thought into it. Just go click heads, and then they do. So for that, I think if PaperX gets off to a hot start, we're going to see that intervention from Frost, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, similar things. I do feel like PaperX is just incredibly strong all across the board. They can be a little bit shaky at times, and I was a little bit nervous coming into this, but looking at the map picks now, if, you know, Talon doesn't go onto a map like Breeze, I certainly hope their Lotus is going to be strong, because if not, PaperX has a very good way of controlling the map. I mean, it's a lot of, you know, maybe no brain, just pure aim at times, but there's also a lot of organized chaos going all across. You know, you're looking at Forsaken, who's able to play so many different roles, go in for flanks. Lotus, you know, Talon just needs to really be able to read and prepare for a lot of these moments.
Yeah, and goes to show, right? Preparation is the name of the game for today's matches. I mean, we saw earlier, of course, that maybe it might not pan out, but we'll see as Flight Club takes on W Gaming. Who is going to be here to stay? That is the big question. So let's take it to the stage for the second match of the day here at VCT Pacific.
Themselves in the playoffs. Talon.
Even though we had a lot of matches that were very close, like 2-1, we went to third map a lot. We're probably one of the only team that played multiple maps throughout the series. So I'm very confident in going into playoffs in terms of our experience.
So
So just now we finished at group stage. Yeah, it's good to go to playoff with only one loss. We lost to Team Secret 0-2 just because we get outside of the game problems, and now we fix this, and now we're gonna show our 100%.
But here comes Jing! A bit of a swamp setup. He's getting the quad kill.
In group stage, we tried our best to bring back Jing to use to us again, to make Jing more comfortable in the game. Since he never played with us for 5 months, we let him call a bit more in the game, so he more in the charge, and we were
Paper red.
When you
Talk to Frost for about 10 seconds. He'll tell you that he used to be, in CS, and well, as we all know, Alex has as well.
But yeah, I mean, again, just kind of thinking about it, Talon, this is a high-pressure game, a potential knockout match, and if Talon doesn't come out swinging, they're going to have to play defense for the rest of it, so I certainly hope they're going to give us their best performance. It was a very motivated win from last week, and they need to bring that forward over onto playoffs.
Oh yes, again, this is an elimination match. So stakes are very, very high for both of these teams, especially since, you also have DRX waiting around the corner, right? Sometimes it's out of the frying pan and into the fire when it comes to high, intense pressure situations like this. But again, stakes are very, very high. Both teams want those championship points. They want that Pacific Trophy, and most of all, they want Master Shanghai for sure.
No, they absolutely do. And for Talon, all the pressure very much is going to be on their shoulders. We'll see if they're going to be able to bear that weight. Paper Rex, though, this is a position that they're certainly not used to being in this first round, being at risk of being eliminated. The last time that they were not able to qualify for an international championship was all the way back in 2021 when they lost the LCQ to Dom1. That was about 930-something days ago. So Paper X, they haven't felt pressure like this in quite some time.
Oh yes, and we heard those screams from all the way over here on the analyst desk. So let's toss it on over to William and to Valdez to get this started.
Well, thank you so much, Alice Tess, for breaking that one down. We're getting into our second playoff match of the night. Talon up against Paper Rex, and certainly there is a favorite in terms of Paper Rex coming into this one, but Talon, you know, time and time again, they keep on stacking the wins. They make it into playoffs, and certainly not an easy team to just get over here for Paper Rex, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they can challenge them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, obviously me and Asteroid being the only ones that predicted Talon, I can't speak for Asteroid, but for me, it's that I think there's more than just a chance, right? I agree. If Talon wins, it's absolutely an upset. I don't think there's any arguing that, just purely because of Paper Rex's power. But I also believe that Talon, individually speaking, they have players who would be willing to keep up with the fast pace of Paper Rex. But the question is can they stay together? And wow, Paper Rex, I mean, this is something that I've always wondered about, that they have to change their agent comp at some point for Lotus. They can't keep getting away with just the firepower of something in Jing. And they're going to take out the Cypher for the breach. So this is no Sentinel, right? You've got no Anchor. You've got nobody watching flank. I mean, this is double downing on the whole W gaming.
Yeah, throw in some flashes and press W and go kill them, I guess. Certainly a very fun, should be a fast-paced composition, you would imagine. Even for the defensive side, we saw a lot of that even in our first match of the night when we did play on Lotus from both sides, honestly. So wouldn't be surprised to see Paper X doing that. But they are going to start off on the attacker side, so certainly looking to get aggressive with this comp. You know, a bit more standard on the side of Talon Esports, nothing too big to see there. So pretty interesting to see. I think this Lotus is going to tell us a lot about how the series is going to go.
Absolutely, and obviously the big question is Talon, did you see this coming, right? Because I'm sure they prepped a lot of things about how to target Forsaken Cypher, how to get around that Odin, things like that. Now that's a bit out the window. And I also wonder, does this mean that Mindfreak's going to be hard on the lurk, maybe even more? Because you have nobody watching that flank, you have nobody opening up more routes. I mean, yeah, the breach can get a little far with the fault line, but you're still going to want him to be, you know, somewhere close for that extra support on those executes with things like the Aftershock.
Well, setting up to pressure in towards B here in the pistol round. We'll see if Talon is ready for it. They have 3 people here already and a ping going down, so wouldn't be too surprised if we get some fireworks right from the get-go. As here we go.
Yeah, that's just the fault line straight through. And yeah, Governor is not quite gonna get away. Okay, I thought he survived for a second, but we'll go down. Good push out from Band, though. So now you've regained control of Mound. You have the forward turret, and you're still holding close. It's still a crossfire. It's a nice try, but you know the classic double jump out of the smoke. That's a Paper X trademark right there. Put the stamp on it.
Yeah. Didn't necessarily have to do that, but hey, it worked, right? They just run at them, and it works out very well. They get that kill. They open up this position, but Surf on the flank here is going to take out Mindfreak. Does get pretty low, as just a couple of classics left for the side of the Talon boys, whereas Paper X sitting on slightly better firepower. Also going to take out the turret here. Aggressive already is Jing.
Yeah, you have to imagine that they're going to push you if you're banned. You know that they're going to want to stick together, and he was somewhat ready for it. He was just trying to buy time for Surf. Seems like a bit of a misclick on that.
Yeah. Well, that was a kind of an anticlimactic end to a very fast beginning of that round. But Paper X are going to get on the board with a very fun pistol round, getting aggressive here. And you'll see the replay once again. It felt like Talon was ready for it, but...
Yeah, they saw it coming for sure. You had Frenzy in hand, you had Crossfire. But the thing is Paper X, they even put that Cloudburst down, right? So they make sure that if there is a Crossfire, they know they're giving the respect that, okay, Talon's also a very prep-heavy team. They know how to match the opponent's style. So they're going to expect this double jump out. Let's cover one side, and now it's a triple jump out. They actually don't lose a single member on that initial peek out. And what in the world is that? The jump peek and the shot under from something.
Yeah. We got to see Jing doing some some fun stuff, but we'll definitely get a replay of something shot as well. As already Paper X, they don't waste any time. I mean, they just run on in. They're going to throw the spike up top. They say, I'm not planting that thing. Somebody else can go plant that. As everybody's in waterfall. That's going to be a nice amount of information. Also 1-for-1 trade. And Paper X are very cleanly out of the site already.
Yeah, so one thing that we're already seeing, and I mean, The spike plant for Jing is perfect. He's only 1 point away from the showstopper. An absolute feeder here for Jing on that raise. But the important thing here is that what this breach allows Paper X to now do is push out even more confidently in the post plant, right? You don't have to just rely on lurks and wraparounds and just your aim. Wow. I mean, but it's things like that. That's Paper X, right? I mean, you just don't expect that type of speed, that type of coordination. The scope in right on the jump peak, things like that. They just know how to make sure that they have advantageous fights.
Yep. And then they set themselves up very well to clear all the corners. And a very clean second round as well. So now, buy rounds here for the side of Talon as something this time is not going to have nearly as much luck as Governor is making quick work of them. Going to take out 2. Jing just traded back with his Spectre, going to upgrade that one and get onto the B site.
He's got the showstopper as well, so if he can hold on to this position, if they get the plant, the 2 members could maybe push out from one other side. This could be a good hold for Paper X. It could be a bonus converted for sure. Nothing is certain just yet. The Trailblazers are going to clear out one site, but Paper X are going to try to just rely on their individual skills to cover more angles than one.
Oh, this lurk here from Mindpeak, just trying to clear if they do go for the rotate around. And he's going to be able to take him out. Governor has 10 health, and he is not going to get any damage done to Jing. Paper X, there's the showstopper. Just buying some more time.
Yeah, it wastes so much time, and he times it for Cruz! Right as he enters, Jing is unstoppable today.
I mean, he was already 5-0. Now he's 9-0. Well, what? Very fiery start for Jing. I suppose letting him shot call is working out for the team. At least for a little bit to get him back on the swing of things. As every kill, very, very nice. The perfect timing there on the showstopper.
I mean, you talk about, you know, some teams, they're IGLing for the first time. They're going to have a rougher day. And the Paper X is like, you know what? We'll let you call even more for more confidence. Play your own game. Command everybody.
Yeah. This time around, something is not quite going to land that one. Getting aggressive here is Talon on their own bit of an eco. And they'll control mound for now, but do see that Paper X is hovering around here. Might look for a follow-up push.
Yeah, and I like what Jitboys is doing. He knows that Paper X is a team that would push it, right? They're not one to just go to the other side. They're not going to work off of basic rotates. He respects that they could push right back. And since while they still wanted to play the numbers game by stacking A, Jitboys respects it and says, listen, it's all pistols anyway. Maybe we group as 5. Maybe we try to die to the spike. No matter what it might be, not giving away a free kill with the lurk.
It's going to get a bit of damage done, but the fact that it's not a kill is, well, that's a kill. That's a couple of kills for the side of Paper X. And now if you're Talon, I would imagine that you probably do just want to die to the spike.
Yeah, it's looking a little tough. So Surf, he's going to open the door, and it should be a timing here for Governor to try to peek in for another extra kill. Surf just trying to stay alive. Oh,
man. Well, the door not quite thick enough to cover all of that. And Ban is just here, seeing if anybody's going to push out, and will die to the spike. So Paper X 4-0 start off this first map.
Yeah, this is not the tempo at all that Talon wanted to have. Obviously, yeah, sure, you let them start on the attack. You're looking to do more damage in the second half if it's Lotus. And Talon is a team that can really take the initiative to control the tempo. But not like this, not letting Jing run amok and then everyone else just picks up free kills on anti-eco rounds, things like that. I also feel like Something's hair just gets shorter every time he gets a haircut. He like cuts it even shorter. He's like, no, it wasn't short enough last time.
Yeah, he's experimenting. You know, you don't have to wait until the hair grows out more to then cut
That's
it again.
True.
You could
That's
just
true.
go get another haircut.
That's the new meta.
But yeah, as now, I mean, they are going to have a buy round. We have the Odin back here for Cruz. We'll see if this one looks a little bit better for the side of Talon, who are not on the board just yet.
All right, that's an instant kill on the Prowler. No information given. Oh, so they were holding far back. You don't know if the corner is clear or not. So Talon, yeah, they're going to have to invest a second Prowler to clear. They'll spray the close angles, but now you know that it's multiple here. So Paper X, they're happy to push in, and again, they'll be happy to push out once they go in the post plan as well. You got Seekers online, Fault Line is there. They even creep in.
He's taking a bunch of damage behind those boxes. Something was trying to peek and get the first pick off before committing, but now they're going to commit to it.
Oh, no way! He just runs through. He doesn't even need to get the kill. What is going on?
They don't even need him. I mean, they're just getting the pick from Mound.
Oh my!
He's going to be taken out with the showstopper. And that is devastating for Governor as Paper X are shutting it down. Jit Boys gets one, and Ban is alone. He's going to see the knee of Mind Freak.
30 seconds
Dodges the paranoia, gets one. We've seen Ban pull off some crazy stuff on this map.
That he has. But it's against two of the best shooters in Pacific. He's waiting for the trade angle, but it's not quite there. So now he has an inkling that they both of them have to be near the bend.
He's going to take his time, seeing if he can get the initial pick.
Here's one.
Oh, Jing just too strong today. He's got the hot hands for sure, and he is going to win that trade easily. It doesn't take any damage. And now that's 5-0 for Paper X.
11-0, by the way, for Jing. We're 5 rounds in. He's got more than 2 kills per round, and he has not died.
One enemy
It is not an overstatement at all to say that he is absolutely hard carrying. I mean, not that the rest of the team needs it, but he's doing it anyway. And yes, I mean, this is, if anything, just to cool him off. This is a much-needed timeout.
I'm sure that Frost needs some cooling off as well, because if I'm watching that and watching your team just kind of get smothered at every single corner, you're not going to be feeling very good. As both coaches there talking in the booth, you see Alex doesn't have too much to say. I mean, what do you even say as the winning coach in the situation? Like, yeah, just keep shooting them real good.
Yeah.
You're doing perfect, guys.
I mean, you probably just cheer up the other players, right? I'm sure you'll get more kills in the next map, but for now, just give it to Jing, Don't let it get to you. He's cleaning house. I don't think there's really much to say, and quite frankly, again, part of that is they're also just winning all their duels. Yes, they had a couple good reads in the early 2 rounds, but afterwards, it has just been an absolute bulldozer here for Paper X. So not much to even course correct on the side of Paper X.
Yeah.
Now even the opt for Devi coming out. That's, I mean, creds or not, this has to be unexpected. Yes, Devi is oftentimes a great opper for Paper X, but with this comp on attack, this is going to be a hard one for Talon to read, and it's a good curveball for Paper X to throw.
It definitely is, especially after a timeout. You might see a set play from the side of Talon, but I don't really see all too much just yet. As here comes Jing very aggressively on the side. He's coming right at him. As Forsaken's going to get the kill here at B. Meanwhile, the whole team is just on C for free.
Yeah, and I believe he did catch slight sight of Jit Boys as well, so he's just going to back out. That's good decisions from Forsaken. Devi's going to help cover that for the time being. Now you're covering the flank. You're wondering, because they didn't cover Rubble at all, they're a little bit scared of the flank, but now ready for the push through, and he gets a kill with the aftershock.
Oh boy. Yeah, Talon kind of floundering here, you could say, Jit Boys. He's going to dodge the flash. Surf is on the site, but that's going to be the end of Jit Boys, and they know where Surf is. Down he goes, 6-0 for Paper X, and they will not be stopped just yet.
The switch to the breach, I think, is a big part, right? I think this breach is starting to really throw Talon off a bit because the timings on the post plant, it's extra utility you have to worry about. Paper X can really delay you a lot earlier and still set up for angles, right? They can clear angles one more time in the post plant. And Talon is just not ready for it. By the way, that blast pack and then the hop down with the shorty, that's actually amazing from Surf. What a way to try to solo clear the site, because oftentimes the guy hiding behind that pillar is usually the thorn in your side.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice try. It's not nothing. Now it's something on this one. He's trying to dodge everything, and then he really gets clipped by one shot only after getting peeked by 3 people. And here's Jing, gets the kill on the ban. And yes, it's not a buy round here for Talon, but still the picks are impressive for the side of Paper X.
You know, Valdez, there are times when a caster says something before a match, and you really believe it. And sometimes you feel a little silly. This might be one of the games that has made me feel the silliest by saying that I think Talon can keep up individually in terms of tempo, because I still believe they have the potential, but even individually, they are not able to keep up with the speed. Yeah. This is...
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I mean, at the same time, like, Talon aren't really showing up just yet, and Paper X have come out right from round 1. And they're playing their best Valorant right now. I mean, Jing finally died, so that's something.
All right, all right.
I guess. He's 12-1. But this as well, he's just, like, kind of playing with his food, and then... Yeah, it's very one-sided at the moment. There's not really much else to say.
No, I mean, there really isn't. I mean, we're not even being given a chance by Paper X to see if Talon has good reads for the round, right? Because you're losing the first duels, and after that, it all breaks apart. You're finally back up to the own, and you've got a couple full armors this time, so it's looking a little bit better. But this is basically the round where you start to have to get at least one round if you want to make it even, like a 4-8, a 3-9. Because if you lose this one, it might just be a 10-2, something like that.
So Paper X, they get the read. There's a lot of pressure out of B, and now they're just slow pushing into A. Talk screen has come up, but they're going to press the tree door. The Odin trying to spam on through. Here's the Nightfall as well. See the Rolling Thunder to clear the site, so they are going to get the pick here. Another first kill for Forsaken. He keeps on picking these up, and the site is theirs. Once again, Ban trying to get this pick, but he will not be able to. As, I mean, we talked a lot about Jing. We've seen the shots from something, but everybody else is also playing an insane game today.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not that they were being carried because they needed. It's just that Jing was always on the front line, picking up the first kills. I mean, what's Paper X's warm-up routine today? Because everybody wants to know.
Yeah, I would certainly like to know. I mean,
it's perfect. I mean, this is, like, from a purely mechanical level, this might be some of the most perfect Valorant we've seen. And that, for Paper X, that's saying a lot, because they oftentimes look very good swinging out the gate. But, I mean, all their crosshair placements, their reaction, like this flick up, Jitboys was meant to get that kill. That was supposed to be Jitboys' kill. Everything was set up for him.
It's really on point. I mean, you see all 3 shots from Forsaken in the 3K. We also saw Jing's kills. And they're just not missing a beat. They're coming in really strong, really fast, and they're winning every single duel, as you mentioned. And that just kind of makes things feel a bit unfair, as now something's waiting for the push, and yeah, 3 for 1. Down goes Mind Freak at least. But now it's only Ban and Surf.
And the craziest part is that push out wasn't actually that bad in theory. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because here's the thing. Normally you see a pit, you expect... Okay.
A dual one.
Surf's firing back. Hold on, everybody. Hold your horses. We've got action. But to continue my point, as we most likely, see Jing win another duel, is normally the Viper's pit, you're expecting the defenders to basically force you to funnel to the other side. They're going to hold on the other side. It's going to be a numbers game. So Talon tries to push out on a timing. I don't think it's bad. Paper X is just so much quicker on covering their flanks, covering their angles. And then the reaction trades from Jing.
Yeah, I think for sure we've seen a lot of impressive things from every player of Paper X so far, but Jing is... He's certainly the one guy right now. He is him at the moment. Some of those really long range, just 1-2 taps with the Vandal, like he hasn't missed a single one. It's really scary stuff, and it's very demoralizing to go into that. As here comes Jing once again. He's just running through everything, doesn't care. Pressing that W key, they're gonna clear out the C side as well as they can. A Surf is, they're just gonna run at him and take him down, take them both down. Will something.
Here.
The set executes. I mean, is it set? Is it flood? With Paper X, you never quite know, but it's a mix of both every time. And
something wanted his ace.
Yes, he's not going to get it. Mind Freak says it's saved for another day. But listen, people have tried to say that they think Paper X is back. They continue to have a little bit of an up and down. Even their wins looked a little messy. But I think today, all the Paper X fans are going to say, they're back. I mean, it almost looks magical, right? Like the coordination, the comms, the speed. I mean, something in Jing.
Yeah. And if you're just like tuning in for playoffs and you haven't watched in a while, you're like, oh yeah, of course, Paper X. No, like Talon is a really strong team. They're quite a good team. It just doesn't look like that right now because of the way that Paper X is playing. So, yeah, are Talon playing their best? Maybe not, but at the same time, this is certainly one-sided. Paper X Now trying to force it into C, as they have done many a time, to a lot of success, obviously. Mindfreak going to get up on the box as they slowly but surely chip away portions of the C site.
Oh, I mean, you just can't catch a break if you're Talon.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, when you have a fair fight, some of them fire back a couple times, but it's rarely ever fair because of the speed from Paper Rex.
Well, you know that Cruz is up against the wall here, so tries to throw out that, and just like that, the round is over. Didn't even realize. 11-0.
Well, all the viewers around the world, you're all hoping for one thing to happen, because we've all been denied it several times throughout all the different leagues, and I'm not going to say it, but we're very close. We're only 2 points away, and honestly, today, it looks likely. And just look at how aware Paper Rex is. Before they even spotted Surf back there, they know that that's the part, the man behind the pillar is always the biggest thorn on C-Site. So they fault line it, they flood it, they aftershock it, now you got crossfires. I mean, it's good, and now Talon, they react, but they're always a step. Oh my God!
I mean, it's like he saw it coming 20 seconds ago. He's like, all right, he's going to come out here with the showstopper. He's got it. He's going to get aggressive, and something just doesn't miss. He doesn't miss.
This is brutal.
And now, I mean, you know, something's just playing with his food. Like, he didn't have to do that. Might as well, I guess, at this point. And that's going to be the end of Jit Boys. We got Ban. He's got a lockdown. He's dead. 12-0.
Holy.
Paper X are one pistol round away from a flawless map.
And I believe Talon only called that one timeout. And I have to imagine that is because you're watching this game and you're thinking, there's literally nothing I can do to fix, like, there's nothing I can say to fix this, right? We're just getting outclassed on the server. The players know it as well. We just have to laugh it off. We have to shrug it off because you can't put too much weight into this.
Yeah, I think that's true. This is going to be one of those maps that, you know, going into the next map might not affect you as much as a close loss, right?
Yes.
This might be like, okay, we got absolutely collapsed. Let's just pretend that didn't happen, and maybe we can take them on binds and just kind of like reset our mental.
I mean, time-wise, it almost feels like it might not have happened if it ends this way because it has been absolutely quick. And this fan, they've got a couple things that make them fall in love with Paper Rex, and one of them is Alex smiling, which I think there's a lot of today so far. You can watch the coaches if you're here. Yeah, we got some Talon fans as well. And listen, I mean, yes, Talon beating Paper Rex would have been a very big upset, but that also, right now, Paper Rex is making it look like Talon is the absolute weakest team in Pacific or something like that, right? They're making the gap look so big, and I don't think it was that big to begin. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't like an absolute, it wasn't like the not Niagara Falls, Grand Canyon or something like that, or even the Niagara Falls. I don't know, any giant landmark you can think of.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was the Pacific Ocean gap or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
It may be the Han River, you know, it's pretty big, the Hudson River, you know, something like that.
Yeah. But no, I agree. I think that Paper X have really just kind of brought out a new level of game here for the playoffs, and that's really as simple as it is. And it looks very straightforward as well, as we are going to head into our pistol round. See if Paper X can close this out cleanly.
They are stunned.
Yeah, they know exactly where everybody is. That's 3 kills already. And Paper X, they're looking for it. Can they pick it up? Ban, he wants to put an end to it. He's going to get one, and it's only Cruz. He is just running behind them, knife out. But this is looking like it's going to happen, William.
Yes.
I'm not going to say anything.
I mean, yeah, we've denied a lot of the viewers
something. Looks like he is going to win it, and it's a 13-0 from Paper X here on Lotus.
The first one of this stage in Pacific, and if I'm not mistaken, throughout all the leagues so far, and it happens in the playoffs knockout round. I mean, absolutely incredible from Paper X. I mean, you could tell even in that pistol, Talon absolutely flustered, right? I mean, this is a composition made for trap plays. Talon's not ready for it. Paper X just crushes it.
Well, that was a map. It's already over, 13-0. Let's see what the analyst desk have to say about that one.
We have none nothing to say. It's a 13-0. It's pretty self-explanatory at this point, especially when Jing has, what was it, that last count?
Well, actually, something overtook him in kills and
okay.
ACS.
Okay.
At the very end.
last, yeah.
But between the two of them, they basically almost doubled the total kill count for Talon. This was just the most one-sided, flawless, perfect game of Valorant that I have ever witnessed in my life.
Pretty much.
13-0s are so rare. DFM last year did not get 13-0.
This is a playoffs match, elimination match.
Look, here's what I'm saying. And you saw the total playtime. Just under 33 minutes. That's including timeouts.
And this was Talon's map pick.
Look,
What's up,
I
guys?
think most people, I think we all learned the same lesson when we were younger. I'm sure our parents taught us well. You have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
Yeah.
So I think that we should sit here in
Say nice things
silence
about
until
Paper
the
X.
next map is ready.
We can say nice things about Paper X.
That's true. We can talk about
Well,
Paper
okay,
X.
we
Let's
can-
do that.
we
Let's
can
do
talk
that.
about
Yeah,
Paper
there we go.
X.
It would be awkward if we were just quiet the entire time.
I was prepared. I was like, all right, gonna get into this meditation. But speaking of
Oh
which,
my
like,
God. That's
what is this?
perfect score.
I mean, that's... Of course it was a perfect score. How is it not going
It's
to
a
be?
13.
I mean, this is the least surprising graphic we have. The most surprising thing is that Talon got a first kill at some point.
Well, I think, first of all, Forsaken Breach, it almost feels as though Paper X has been playing with weights the whole time. Sentinels were just weighing them down. We play a Sentinelist composition. We go in with double Initiator, double Duelist, and we're just playing at breakneck speeds. That's what this is.
I knew that these rounds were going to be fast. I knew they were going to be pacey, but I also expected that there was going to be a little bit more shooting back from the opposite side. Paper X just didn't give him the chance. The number of flicks that something was nailing. To also just be able to overtake Jing, who had an 11-0 start by the end of this, is absolutely insane. He's got 7 first kills. He drops at 383 ACS. I was curious, like, okay, how is something gonna play? He's got the haircut coming through. This dude, this is a reverse Samson. Chop the hair off and the man gets more powerful. He just tore the temple down after you cut off his golden locks. This is insanity.
It's like aerodynamics. He's faster now.
Yeah, it's like Concon.
Yeah,
It's like Concon.
exactly.
Okay, like Concon grew his
Exactly.
hair out, a little bit of a little iffy performance, and then he just like shaves his head again and just starts popping off. It's just across the board. Everybody, flawless performance. Devi continues to be like the only person that makes Sky look like damn good and still broken on this map. He's the only one who can do it. He had an
There is
off in
no
his hand at
Sky
1.2. He died twice. This was flawless.
And he heals up his teammates too because of it. That's why they are able to dive so almost recklessly. They do it with extreme confidence, and if at all they take a bit of damage, hey, Devi, Lish, just top us off a little bit. We'll go right back into the action, and that's exactly what happens. If we take a look at some of these highlights, the positions at which Talon are playing, they're trying. They're trying so darn hard. I mean, there are some of these strats where Surf puts up the Viper's Pit up around C,
God, that
Cruz,
shot.
the whole squad just trying to wrap back around from A. They're pushing out. They know they have the space. They know they have the angles, but Paper X are just on a tear, on a whole different level. And yeah, we even saw those, the flicks, the anticipation from something.
The reaction times.
And then maybe the last round, Mind Freak sends out a paranoia towards Rubble and he just dives at them with a shorty and dies? Sure.
Yeah.
Do you ever get the sense when watching Paper X, by the way, that like everything isn't like in slow motion? Because I got
to
that.
Well,
That's what.
I got
that's
that.
the thing, and that's what we're talking about. Is that flow state?
They got
that
their
just
zoomies.
that mind meld.
Yeah.
That was it. We just witnessed it. It felt like I was watching a team that had full aim hacks the entire time, knew what every
Yes.
move that their opponent was going to do. I felt like I was watching that. It was just every single read, every rotation that was attempted by Talon. It was just seen through by Paper X instantly.
That's true.
We have
Paper X
nothing more to
anticipated all
say.
of it.
Literally.
Let's talk
this
about
is
Valorant.
let's talk about Valorant? Yeah. This is exactly how you play Valorant. You just shoot heads every single time, and that's exactly what Jing did, right? If they managed to take him down 3 times, and if you take him down once, it's like, good, congratulations, you took down Jing, but you have the rest of Paper X to deal with, and now you're at a numbers disadvantage. So it's like, this was incredibly, what a powerhouse performance from Paper X.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
There was that video from, I think, Valorant EMEA. They had a little question about what the players think of Pacific, and everyone's just like, Paper X, they're fast. They're fast. That's it.
That's why Paper X is synonymous with this region, because they managed to, like, you know, really trademark that play style and make it, like, undefeatable.
This is just a different level, though. I mean, to pull off what they did. I mean, again, how often do you see a 13-0 at the highest
Thank you
level?
to William
The last
and
time I
Fellas
can
for
think
not
of was-
jinxing it, by the way.
Look, Loud versus EG. I mean, oh, okay, actually, here we go. Good news, Talent. You're going to go on to become world champions. That must be the secret.
That's a sign, is it?
Yeah, okay, never mind. Everything's going to work out in the end.
One day. Don't worry, everything happens for a reason. But yeah, again, like you mentioned, Talon is not a bad team. We've seen them steadily improving, but
Yes.
it's just that, my God, Paper X. What do you do against Jing, who is putting up all of these frags against everybody, every single round?
This is very different from the previous series where we said, like, okay, this wasn't just T1 looking good. It was Secret making a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
This was just Paper X being better.
Yeah.
In every
True.
facet, in every metric, just dipping them. I mean, the snappy reactions that we were seeing from them, I mean, a lot of times, like, Talon were just not getting an opportunity to fire back, and everybody's aim was just so on point here.
Pure rushdown.
This was, I mean, I think it is probably the most gorgeous map of Valorant that we have ever witnessed from one side, obviously. You know, this isn't the back and forth brawl where, like, oh, that's really good gameplay. But as far as, like, just having a read, having a game plan and an understanding of how your opponent's going to operate and then just hitting everything, this was about as perfect as I've ever seen.
I had a little bit of a note here that was like, ooh, Paper X could potentially, this might be their weakest point because they're realigning. I'm just gonna delete that.
The whole line.
The whole thing.
I see it. Okay,
yeah,
she's doing
pretty,
it.
pretty much just deleting all of that. But because, like, you know, this is basically just Paper X doing everything right in the sense of Valorant, we're just gonna go to two people who apparently can't get anything right at all over here on our guess and game. We do have another question for you, gentlemen. Which team will take more post timeout rounds in map number 2? Judging on, like, basing everything on what we saw earlier.
So who's gonna, like, call a timeout and then win the follow-up round? Am I
not
correct?
even
Am I
Do
correct in
we
that?
even
Call a
really
timeout?
need to ask
that's
this
my
at
thing.
this point?
Because I think Talon, after what we saw, Talon's going to call timeouts. I don't necessarily think that they're going to win them,
I'm not even
and I think that Paper X
go
might
for it.
not have to timeout at all.
We'll just go for it.
So I'm just going to say a tie, I think.
He's going for a tie. I'm just Paper X all
I
the
can,
way.
like, I mean, I
pretty-
can't go any
pretty much.
lower, so I'll just X2. I might as well 2X it.
Are you not curious what happens? You go all the way back up to Radiant. The
Oh.
world is round.
In what case, I hope I'm wrong. An over-the-top straight. Oh, a poker player's favorite.
But yes, apparently everybody thinks the same way, Paper X as well. But I mean, is there any other reason not to at this point? I don't even think it's just that because, like, Frost, sure, he might have, you know, he might have the power to rally his players together, but it's just that Paper X are just better in every sense of the word.
They were truly anticipating every turn, every step, every move that Talon were about to make.
They were. And I'm going to asterisk this before we really move on. I'm saying a tie because I think the Talon are going to call 2 timeouts. Paper X are basically going to call it 0, and then that nullifies it because Talon don't have any
Right, they
wins. And
cancel
then
each other.
Technically, because Paper X haven't called timeouts,
They haven't
also
won.
have 0.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
why I'm going with
That's the condition. That's the condition
Sure.
under which you call
Yes.
a tie. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I do think that, you know, Alex might call a timeout sometimes, but it'd probably be like just him laughing, just like just chill, guys. But right now
How's it going,
we are
guys?
going
What's the weather
into
like?
yeah,
down
what's the weather like? How's it going there? You know. But right now we are heading into Bind, which is going to be PRX's map.
Yeah. That's it. It's PRX's map.
All right, look, for Talon, here's the copium. The copium is that you put a lot more time prepping your opponent's map. Pick one of the ones that you expected to go to, so you're going to have a solid understanding about how they like to pile this map. They're going to have pretty much similar compositions. Obviously, you got the Harper and the Brim on Paper X's side compared to the Viper there for Talon Esports. So very different post-plan setups. You know, you get something you can do a little bit differently there. The other copium is that we've heard it time and time again. You get smashed in an opening map. It's way easier to step away. However, a 13-0, I think, is a little bit different compared to getting, you know, 13-3, 13-4, that kind of score line. This is a lot more, frankly, humiliation for the side of Talon. Are they going to be able to roll with the punches and have the bounce back? Can they use that to their strengths? We'll have to see.
They need to. It's knockouts. They have to come up with a map win. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. And that's the thing, you know, this is a Paper X that while they got a 13, you know, there's also a slight chance for them to maybe overheat. So I'd like to see, you know, Governor, Talon, the whole of them to just kind of hang back a little.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for more Valorant. So let's get to it. William and Valdez, over to you guys.
Thank you, analysts, for that awesome breakdown of the 13-0 that Paper X did just pull off against Talon on Talon's map pick. Now we're moving on to Binds.
Yeah.
Which is Paper X's map pick.
I mean, this is the first map, right? I mean, the match hasn't started yet. I mean, it's
the
only
first
been
one
so
was
long.
just an exhibition match. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously Des talked about the comps a little bit. I think the Brim versus the Viper, it brings a pretty actually big difference in that Paper X, they're going to play a lot, they can play a lot more reach as well, a lot more aggro, push forward, keep up the fast tempo, whereas Talon are going to try to control the map with the Viper. So far, it's not so bad, right? The Snake Bite gives you B main advantage, you still have a short advantage, you can still contest for showers. It's a good setup, and we've seen this Harbor Wall before, so you got to expect a potential push out of Hookah as well.
And that is what's coming out of Paper X. They're moving as a team. Down will go for Sinkin on A. That is a free TP over to A. And should be a free plant here. Surf expecting the rotation to come out from Hookah around through A short, and he's going to spot them. He gets contact. Paper X are spotted.
Yeah, and they have showers control, so Surf is just playing safe. He can still hold on to backside. That's a good back out from Surf. They still have site advantage in terms of overall control.
Well, Paper X just kind of run onto the site, and so spamming through Ban and Surf pick up one apiece. Jit Boys, excellent timing to push out here, and that is a very dominant first round here from Talon. So already infinitely more rounds than they had in the first map, and they are on the board.
They are. They also are tied for the number of first kills that they had in the first map. So overall, a great start. But a great play on the map, right? I mean, it's a very classic setup with the long-range snake bite, things like that. But I love it, and I love the push in from Surf. It gets him hard info, right? Even if he had died there, you know that it was just the one guy. You could probably TP, things like that, where you would have the numbers advantage.
Well, they're going to push out here, Governor. He's going to get dizzied, but he does push them back with his own paint shells.
And a four-man buy from Talon, so only Surf with the Ghost. And usually you see the Ghost on the lurk, but this time, Talon, they don't want to spend too much time controlling the map. They want to push through.
Yeah, that they do. I think it's a pretty good idea. Just trying to push on to A, see what they can see. Surf is going to pick up that kill on a Forsaken as, okay, a couple of nice classic shots from something. Gets another dink, actually, but eventually, with the classic, you're going to run out of power. And they do get that plant down.
Yeah, now, you don't have full showers control, but you definitely don't want to go into lamps either with the long-range weapons. You kind of want to just let them sneak in there and just have an exit. So peeking into it, I think, is fine from Jit Boys, but being trapped in there, okay, he has the Spectre, that's why. It's not a rifle at the very least.
And Freak spotted. Easy peek around here from Jit Boys, who is just going to look for, unfortunate timing on that, as Jing at least is going to be spotted, throws down a nice little cat.
Yeah, not what he was looking for, quite frankly. He wanted to go for the jump peek with the knife and just gets blasted to oblivion. And somehow through all of this, Jing dying to the spike still has 5 points or something like that on his ult. So it's not like Paper X is absolutely flustered in terms of overall resources. But I will say, Surf definitely took that first map personally because he is firing right now.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to bounce back after that first map, right? Sometimes you can feel like you got humiliated, you can feel really bad, really demoralized, but maybe that can also just be used as motivation to try to come in and really shut them down even harder on the next map.
Judge by for Governor as well. So looking for a potential fast push into lamps. But I like that they're still trying to control showers at the same time. That way they still have options around the safe site. Oh, I mean, it's a nice attempt on the double swing.
And he gets the orb at the end of it.
Wow.
Well, they know where he is. Surely that's... Wait, no, it's not. Jing is going to pick up a third kill. And, yeah, I mean, it's a bonus.
It is a bonus.
That is not going very well.
Yes, I mean, it's unfortunate because they did carry over 3 rifles, right? You bought up a judge to try to equal out the econ. If you can get one more.
Okay. All right.
Oh! I mean, Ban said it in that
pretty good.
pre-match interview, yeah, that he fires back even in the scrims. He's trying to prove it again here in Bind. And yeah, it goes from a, well, okay, it's a bonus, whatever, to, all right, fine, both teams are okay with the ending of it. While Paper X, sure, they drop 3 rifles, they lose some more armor. At the very least, the plant didn't happen. So in terms of relative economy, Paper X is feeling okay about it as well. The next round then becomes the ever so crucial buy round from both.
Yeah. See, Forsaken does have a Bulldog.
Yeah, we're going to have one kind of off rifle on both sides, but there is that showstopper in the hands of Jing, and that's why Talon, once again, they were waiting for the push out. Governor, a good pick that allows for the crossfire trade.
Yeah, excellently done. Just shutting down that push out from the side of Paper X. And now, I mean, you've got Mind Freak, he stays alive, but it's on 12 health.
Yeah,
so.
Now you still have a minute left. You've still got that Viper that can lurk and put pressure onto A short. You know that 2 members died and they backed out of A short. So you're expecting the potential of this rotate. Talon, they're working off of that assumption, and Surf will now start to creep in. I think he's a little bit ahead of his teammates, but he'll even win the duel, so it's not going to matter too much.
Yeah, spoken out by himself. Wins a 1v1. That's something they couldn't do a lot of times on the first map, so it's a nice way to build up your confidence now. Divide here.
Last player standing.
Immediately going to be taken out very quickly by Ban. Mind Freak's just gone for a save.
Yeah, has to. I mean, just 12 HP as well. Obviously, no creds left for him. You know, he'll see if maybe he can catch a cheeky little lurk, something like that, trying to get into the most unpredictable position. You imagine that attacker spawn will be cleared out by Talon. And look at this. They're early on the hunt because they know they're safe, right? It's just one person. You can still wrap around, so they have the time to eventually reach his position.
Sub Ban's face. In real life, he is very focused. He very much wants to get that kill. Not sure if it's going to happen, though. Let's see. Surf might be the first person to get contact. Down he goes.
Can't lose too many members if you're
Here
Talon.
comes Ban, and he will take him out. So that's a very good trade for Talon. 1v1, they hold on to 4 rifles, and they hold on to the lead.
Yeah, you get Seekers up for Ban as well. Currently topping the charts with 6 kills. I mean, this is also a very different ideal scoreboard here where you've got a couple people fragging out, and the Gecko just sitting there with assists, doesn't even need to get frags. Just helping the team get onto the site.
Nice! Let's go!
Okay, yeah, you get the energy up for Talon, try
So
to make
excited.
it competitive, yeah. You love to see that from Surf. I mean, he had an absolute excellent debut back in the Xerxia days, and now he's returned to that top-tier stage.
Yeah. And that was after he got taken out. You know, he got the information. His teammate cleans it up. They win the round in a big way. So a lot to be excited about, even though he did go down. Here comes Talon. Lots of walls. There's the Seekers as well, as they look to push onto the A site.
Yeah, it's just one on the site. They know that thanks to the Seekers, so it's just going to be a push through. You know you have the better weaponry. Governor trying to make sure he doesn't give an easy headshot away. I love the cautiousness from Talon on these anti-ecos. And now you have Showers control. You staggered them here. You have a shorty and lamps. So far, every round, Talon's been playing very clean.
Uh-oh. Don't want to go into that bubble. Divide will get 1 kill, but I have a feeling that might be the only kill. Oh, maybe not. Something with the second one.
Yeah, the scope-ins aren't really, the zoom-ins aren't doing great here for Talon. We're looking for the one-taps.
Yeah. There's another one. It's not a lot of time here on the spike, but they're certainly taking a lot of blood with them. Something gets another kill, and they'll just take the TP out. So they take 4 rifles out, and nope, make it 5. Something with the 3K as Cruz tries to follow there and does not get the kill.
But you do have to consider this, right? Talon's fine for the next round, but kills give a, not much, but some extra creds as well. Obviously, ult points, things like that. And that's not a round that should have ended that way. So, yeah, I get them peeking out and things like that early. I mean, yeah, for you, you got to keep the energy up. But this could be the difference maker down the road. Now, Paper X, I mean, Achilleo said he thinks Paper X is going to have to call a timeout, but they definitely need one at this point.
We'll see who takes the round afterwards.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Our guess and gainers who are looking to gain with their unfortunate guesses. You do see that both coaches actually pretty animated, but obviously at this point, Alex a bit more. Not looking too angry just yet. I think it's hard to be angry after the way today has gone so far.
Yes.
But certainly a lot of things to fix still after the beginning of this map.
Yeah, and I think probably what Alex has seen is if you're going to go for things like the 4-1, you got to be able to push out, right? You got to be able to take a little bit more control of things like B main or Ace Showers. You know, just focusing on maybe holding onto Hookah, maybe holding onto Lamps, that's not going to get you much. And you realize that Talon, what they've been doing is the first read they get, they immediately pinch into both lanes on the other side of the map. So you really want to try to sell that a bit more. If you're not confident in pushing out right now, given how the first couple rounds have gone, maybe give them a little info, then you also try to over-rotate onto the other side.
Yeah, and it's still early on. I think it's a nice place to take a timeout where the team's feeling okay. Yes, they lost the round, but you pick up a bunch of kills. You know, something's beginning to get back into the server after his 383 of the first map. And let's see how this after timeout round is going to go. As Governor has a, not gonna fire it in there.
Yeah, just wants to gain even more information. He knows it's too far of a distance. I like that. Tries to guarantee the kill. They're looking to push out as well. They know the Thrash is there. They know the retakes are there, but Mind Freak!
Uh-oh, and look at that. Also, detained was Governor. He gets taken out. This is nearly going to be a, no, it is going to be a flawless. Paper X, they take one timeout, and they're right back in the driver's seat.
And that's just with the two ultimates, right? The Thrash and the Seekers. So Talon wants to push out because they know that this can be a very quick retake here. Obviously, already used one, so that's just going to be gone to the ether anyway. So they're trying to push out off of the Showstopper. So you know that they've used the Cascade. You know the Harbor's nearby somewhere. You want to try to catch that timing right before the Thrash is used to punish it. What is that?
What? That's just not fair.
Oh my gosh, he just does that sometimes, man.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, listen, the previous round, dropping all those weapons, now you're right back to a broken eco here for Talon.
Yeah, so you get into the spot where, you know, Paper X kind of a slow start, but now you're feeling not too great if you are Talon about this current position. They spot the push coming in. A lot of util already as they try to push through. As, Showstopper coming in from Jing, but it's a couple of frenzy kills for the side of Talon.
Do they know about Devi, though? I don't think they really expect it.
Well, you've got that from the skies, and now Devi, as you mentioned, they do not know he is here. And Mind Freak trying to come on in. He is not going to land those shots. As here comes Talon trying to pick up this Thrifty, as there it is, the one quick snipe with the Sheriff, and that is a thrifty win for Talon.
Yeah, I'd love to see the replay here from Talon's perspective, because Governor being planted in early was great. The thing is I'm pretty sure something saw that frenzy, maybe in the heat of the moment, doesn't quite catch it. Yeah, he goes for the wraparound, but Governor's just quicker, and the instant flood as soon as the mosh ends. It's a great call from Talon. You don't want to leave that Raze stranded, especially on an eco. Capitalize on the fact that you've got better run and gun weapons. They're back in the game, but now the operator. This is a big round for both sides.
Yeah, we'll see if something can hold on to it in this round, or if Talon is going to continue to come on strong in this second map. As they've been pretty aggressive. Here we go once again, the Trailblazer into Hookah. And this time it is going to be a one trade back, but once again, it is going to be a plant coming in. Forsaken does get that headshot through the teleporter. This plant is coming down from the side of Talon.
Yeah, but the post plant's not great. Talon doesn't feel stable. Do you hear the Trailblazer? You do. Cruz knows he has a timing. Oh, he can't win it, the swing out.
Oh, and he knew it too. You could see his face right after that. That's rough. That's not gonna feel good for Cruz.
Oh.
And Paper X will take this round. As Jing and the rest of Paper X have been having a bit of fun, regardless.
That's Paper X, right? Even if they're losing, You know, some of the other ex-pros have stated that one of the scariest things is you face a team that's just having fun. How do you beat that? Because the pressure's not going to get to them. Unless for Paper X they're in a grand finals with a map advantage, the map draft advantage. The pressure gets to them then when they have the winner bracket advantage. But now the timeout coming out. So Talon, I do like that they tried to shift. Once Paper X call the timeouts, they start to go for just, you know, don't go for contact and then rotate. You immediately just start going in. Obviously one of those was an eco round, but you try to replicate that and you're able to get onto the site. But obviously the post plant and the quick reactions to the TP wasn't quite expected. So I imagine off of this timeout, you're going to go back to a bit of a slower default, see if the push-outs happen again. You know, not too much to lose to go back to your own style that you had in the beginning of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what Talon come back with. See, Frost has got a lot to say this time around. Alex, once again, having a lot to say. A lot of animation, a lot of arm movements between these two coaches. It's exactly what we expected. Exactly what we enjoy these two coaches.
Yeah, when I saw the bracket for this matchup, I did think it would be very fun to just sit backstage in between the two coach rooms. And they are a little far apart, but see if you can like hear them right in the middle of the stage or something like that.
I would say you probably can.
Yeah, I imagine.
Something, of course, holds on to his operator. And that was something I wanted to watch for coming into this next round. Picked up a couple of kills, I think, on that last one, and now he's going to look to hold on to Showers. Gets a nice little bird through the TP to help him clear this out.
Okay, so now you know that Showers has been taken over, right? That guiding light is meant to plant someone in Showers so they can keep a vision of it and have that priority. So Talon correctly reacting to at least hold on to B main control. So you've got some semblance of map control, but it doesn't feel stable yet. Oh, the timing!
You could tell that Paper X were not expecting that swing.
And the audio cut into B. I like this, right? The only contact you've had is on A short, and because you've been slow, no information given, by the way. Guiding Light didn't tag anyone, nothing. Surf is still getting kills. You're waiting to hear movement on B site. You're still hearing nothing, so Talon just says, okay, just keep cutting audio. They have no idea where we are. Worst case, maybe we go A, maybe we plant B, hold defender spawn. You've got all the options.
You got a lot of time as well, still 40 seconds. And he's not going to spot Surf. So Surf, he gets that wall up once again. He's going to get into lamps.
This is all to make sure that they can clear this backside. Something has fallen right into the trap, and he has no idea. That lurk. This is a lurker's lurk from Surf.
Yeah, just hanging out forever. The rest of the team coming out, and they don't know exactly where Devi is, but I don't think Devi is going to go anywhere near them. And Talon, just a beautiful round to take here, so definitely feeling very nice for them, 6-3, and also feeling pretty good for Achilleos, currently tied in rounds one after
you were keeping track,
in terms of timeouts. So Paper X got one, Talon got one. Still 2 more timeouts, though.
It would be funny if Achilleos was the only one who got it correct despite misunderstanding the question.
Sometimes you just got to send it. And Devi picks up one, but the wrap is coming in here from Talon, and Governor will pick up that kill. So 6-3, and they take out Devi.
Yeah, and Governor gets closer to another showstopper. All things said and done, Talon feeling good about their position so far. I mean, this peek out, Surf. And he sticks it despite the boombot. That's good too. But the best thing is them putting up the toxic screen again. So now whoever's on the site has to back out into backside because you don't know about lamps. And because you haven't seen the op yet, because it wasn't B main, you're imagining that's in Showers. Like, this was all very well read from Talon.
Yeah. Well, they totally controlled that entire round and got into the heads of Paper X, perhaps. As here comes something once again, but he's going to drop the shot. We haven't seen a lot of that today. But it is going to happen this time. And Talon, you know, they see a couple of guys out there. And they're just kind of back away. We do have a pretty big presence over by Showers for them.
So Talon, a bit of a curveball now. Before, the first couple rounds, it's contact, immediately rotate on a pinch. But now because of the op, they're wondering if it's a rotate. At the very least, they know it's not. The op's still on the B side.
Some spam going through the wall there. And something did get that pick off. near the fountain.
You have the Thrash. Yeah, I wouldn't mind this to push the op out, right? Even if he TP's out, that makes B-site very weak because your entire force was spotted in showers. So if you can get onto this site and just make that op go away. Oh, the Seekers are going to get so much information. That Trailblazer fake is not working out on the A site.
Yeah, definitely is not. Here comes the Thrash. Vi is going to spot it, eating a bunch of damage from the snake bite, as now on the back of this one, Governor not going to hit anyone. Vi in a bit of trouble, but he's able to survive and get into the globe, but now he does go down. Here comes the rest of Paper X. Surf up top here. He is going to take out a bunch of them, too, alongside a Cruz.
And you heard the TP. You know he's back. I mean, something's going to try to go for the wraparound, but you know he has an op. If you can stick together and just not give a collat. Oh, caught sight of him.
Yeah. Well, oh, the timing. Something.
As long as you just don't double up, yeah.
Yeah, he tried to get out. Nicely done from Talon. 7-3, a much different looking map this time around.
Yeah, and again, this is impressive from Talon to bounce back on your opponent's pick. I mean, sure, I'm sure you prepped it. You gotta imagine that this pick was coming in, unless you banned it.
Nice. Let's go.
And we get a third timeout, the second one from Paper X.
This is when you know that Paper X has been challenged, right? When both timeouts are used in the first half. It only happens when Coach Alex really feels the need to course correct. Doesn't look too angry, which I would agree. I don't think it's necessarily that the reads were completely off, things like that. But it's just a couple of timings where you could have had a better advantage, right? You didn't need to necessarily go for certain duels, things like that.
He looks very stern, though.
He does look stern.
Some pretty large arm movements right at the end as well. I don't know. He's getting a little frustrated for sure. And maybe this is the moment, as Achilles was talking about before, you know, maybe you just turn off your brains, go for some aggressive rotations, and try to get on them. We've seen a lot of buying from Paper X, and it looked a bit more aggressive than what we're seeing so far, even from the defense. So maybe just trying to say to his team, okay, it's time to up the tempo here.
Yeah, it does feel like he also wanted to talk a lot about rotations just based on hand movements. Obviously, we can't read all their lips, but
yeah.
So I do wonder if he wants him to be a bit more fluid, right? Push out, rotate, kind of rinse, repeat. And for now, it is going to be a push out onto showers. Obviously, a bit of a broken buy this time around for Paper X. And that gives him the orbital strike.
Yeah. So they got that, and it's very similar to what we saw earlier on, where Jing was the one hitting the orb, and they were able to win like a 2v2 over there. So maybe trying to go back to a certain kind of maneuver strategy that worked out for them in a round in the past. This time around, though, you see that Talon, after the timeout, they're just playing it very passively. Just, you know, looking for some contact over by the TP, but other than that, just slowly playing this one.
Yeah, I mean, with that broken buy again, so Surf trying to hope that he can get another timing, but he is drawing out all these smokes, so you know that Brim is near somewhere on A. He's wary of his flank, and that means Talon, they're ready to strike onto B. You've got double smokes on the side. He even wins one fight. That's great news. Numbers now dwindle down. B side has to be weaker. They're waiting for that harbor wall to die down.
Devi not going to take any shots here. He's going to spot them running out into the teleporter.
Man, he's detained. They're trying to chase him. Oh.
Well, here they come in onto the A site. Forsaken here as well. Plan's coming down, and Forsaken's holding on to him, but he doesn't have any ammo. And that's going to be rough for him. Something able to upgrade here. And goes for the peek.
10 seconds left.
Trying to run away. Here's Ban, and Ban is going to pick it up. Excellently done. Even Seeker's committed to just to find out where Devi is. They want this round, and they will have it. 3 kills for Jit Boys, and it's 8-3 for Talon.
And I love the Seekers at the end because you didn't see him in showers, but the Reckoning didn't hit either because Devi waited. So you're like, well, is he short? Is he, you know, is he backside? But at the end of the day, if you can get to 8, you're already feeling comfy for the first half. So it's a good call, in my opinion, to just send the Seekers, lock in the round. And overall, I mean, Surf on the lurk has been so valuable lets Talon just get hard reads onto PaperX's setup.
Yeah, it has been kind of insane what he's able to do on this map here. Van also putting up some big numbers. Trailblazer now going to come out of short. Get some information. A couple of walls come up as Talon are running at them.
Yeah, now it's going to be the far wraparound all the way. Jit Boys even beats out the judge. So now you imagine, you didn't hear a TP, you're not seeing the backside, you're ready for the flank. Absolutely, Ben gets 2.
Pretty huge stuff. I mean, he gets early contact, he takes out 2 of them, and now PaperX, they kind of just have to force it. And that's not going to look good for them, as meanwhile, Cruz has an amazing flank on both of them, as the Governor will take him down. That's 9-3 at the half in favor of Talon, looking very different from our first map.
Yeah, Talon looks very confident in their reads. They look comfortable, and it seems that whatever they prepped about the tendencies of PaperX, it's been good. I mean, obviously it helps to have a blazing start yourselves, right? I mean, we're starting to see some whiffs from PaperX. That magic that we saw in Lotus, it's not getting replicated win or lose the round. So props to Talon on bouncing back. See if they can keep it up on the defensive half, though. Obviously, PaperX, attack-sided specialist, so to speak. Although I guess the stats they do have the highest defense side rate so far coming into the playoffs.
Nice little drawing there.
Whoa, someone got overly excited after map 1 the wrong way. Yeah, you might want to save that. It's not over just yet.
Yeah, you can put it back together. I think we have some tape.
Yeah, we should put some tape out there just in case.
Yeah. That's interesting. I love you, Jing, with a bunch of hearts sitting next to what looked to be her partner.
That middle fan said he's actually a TRX fan, so PaperX tried to steal my heart. Well, map 1, I think they were on the way, but map 2 looking a little rough.
Well, it's a new half. It's a new day here on Bind. We saw T1 earlier on. They went down. It was 9-3, right? Or was it 8-4? I think it was 9-3.
Yeah.
The first half of Sunset. Yeah, it was 9-3.
The curse
and then
struck.
T1 came back. So, PaperX, you've got an opportunity, but Talon looking very strong on this one.
Oh, I like the switch to the Frenzy from Cruz. You got to expect that it's going to be a flood. So, again, that's kind of the big difference, right? Without the Viper, you're not going for hard lurks, but you just have the extra smokes that you can keep inching forward, keep pushing forward, get that extra reach. Got double Frenzies on the side of PaperX as well.
Oh, that grenade getting a lot of value, but here comes Jing just running straight at them, and through they come on in as everybody tries to go on the teleporter, and they just get annihilated.
Absolutely the hardest of reads here, where they just all wait. Jing just solo charging through the site while everyone waits for the trap.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the toxic screen a little bit telling, but still, great read from PaperX.
Yeah, really good stuff, and you know, you talked about win rates, but certainly PaperX they look pretty comfortable, you could say, and now we're just kind of jumping at the enemy just for fun. And PaperX are back on the board, so 9-4. They take the pistol rounds. Potential 9-5 on the cards.
Yeah, it's definitely looking very likely. I mean, this is just knowing that the Frenzy, also the running and control very good, but then everyone just holds. I mean, Jing's just still walking into the site if you look at the minimap.
Yeah.
Everyone just says, all right, Jing, go get the site ready for us, warm up the seat.
They're just spamming through the talk screen like, okay, we know that they have all come through, and it's easy pickings for them. As here come PaperX once again. Very fast, not giving any time for Talon to set up anything, as the Dizzy gonna get some value, but already 2 kills here for the side of PaperX. As now Jing trying to get in their face, and that they will. Divide gonna pick up the kill, and it's 5 against 2. Make that 5 against 1.
Oh man, you did not want this to go into a flawless, but Governor will say 40 seconds on the clock, 40 seconds for everyone to buy the Talon capsule. And that's about all he can do. He does have to die. And I think he's debating probably jumping into the TP to get in range, except that Forsaken is waiting on the other side. So is something.
And everybody else is clearing out the other angles.
Yeah, they have made sure that he cannot possibly die to the spike.
Yeah. Well, he's probably going to try anyway.
Do his best.
You would imagine. Let's see the timing of this one.
Oh, it's right there. Okay,
Yeah.
right by the door.
Just gonna get on in there. Nicely done by Governor. And there's nothing that Devi can do, of course. So Paper X 2 rounds in a row as they get on the board here in the second half. Once again, coming at them pretty strong. Outside of the teleporter.
You saw the Spectres, right? So that's what they carry over. You gotta expect another flood execute.
Let's go.
It doesn't have to be a rush, but it has to be a flood. So Talon, how do they prepare for it? Yeah, you can try to match them, but dude, with Jing's Blast Pass, I don't know about matching them on showers. They are gonna wait.
Yeah, here comes Jing once again, as this time around the headshots ring true for the side of Cruz. Ban is there as well, as Mindfreak will pick up a kill with the Bulldog of his own. They also get the orb, so that is something, but still looking pretty good for the side of Talon. That is
rifle's picked up.
Yeah. Gives them a chance.
I mean, Governor has to go huge here. He has to get so much information, and he only has a judge, so he can't get too greedy. Yeah, just has to hold here for info.
Yeah. Well, there's the info.
Yeah, I wonder if Paper X gets the read, right? Like, okay, why aren't you challenging us with a gun out? So it feels like they are a little wary of it, that it has to be a close-range gun. You can look at the econ, you can kind of get a good inkling of it.
Yeah, in which case you probably don't want to run towards it. And they're just going to put up a harbor wall and try to sneak in through lamps here, it looks like.
But jump peak not quite getting it, as that high tide, of course, matches the elevation of the ground.
Yeah, they're just pushing all the way through. Serve very quick on that one. Mindfreak does trade it back, but he is alone, and down he goes. Nice shot here from Jitboys to put an end to that. So no bonus for the side of Paper X, and Talon are at 10.
Yeah, I mean, a desperate recovery on that round, because it was a good start, and I mean, you don't blame ban. There we go. That's a tongue twister.
You don't bland.
Yeah, you don't blame ban and bind. Oh, wow, okay. We got a lot of people out here. Looks like a Talon watch party. But yeah, for ban swinging out, it's just that Mindfreak, swings back in. That catches him off guard a little bit on his movement. But you can still match rifle for rifle. Governor able to pick up another one, a triple stack on A. And B is just meant to delay with the toxic screen.
They are very much expecting someone to be there, but as we know, everybody on the side of Paper X over towards B.
Man thinks he has an opening. But yeah, I like the back out, because he tried to get past the cascade after not being tagged by the guiding light, but the Trailblazer pushes him back. Devi. Oh!
Oh.
That high tide really messed things up, and now he's just stuck in this duel forever.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the rest of the team trying to push on in. Jing is going to open things up. It's Mindfreak and Jing, the only two alive. Talon, meanwhile, the other couple of guys that were alive still on the rotation as the spike will be planted.
They're going for 1v1s. They will win one.
30 HP on Governor. Jing has to pull off a masterclass of a 1v2.
Cleared all the other options. The showstopper, Governor!
Oh, he hits him! Just clips him, Governor, on 30 health. And that is barely enough to clutch it out. Jing just barely holds on to that round for Paper X.
Oh, man. What a necessary clutch. And, in my head, I was thinking, like, why didn't they just let Mindfreak plant? He would have had the orbital strike. But position-wise, he was already in place, and it all works out. You can get the showstopper. Gets him the guarantee. I mean, Governor tries to fake him out by going above. That's the best shot Governor had. That's the elevation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it nearly worked. As now, once again, Paper X say, okay, well, this has been working for us. Some pressure in through B. And Jing is kind of just running at them. There's 4 people over there, as Talon have read this. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, now you saw how many people there were. It's an eco round for your opponents. No reason to pressure it. I mean, Talon, they were trying to make sure they could still secure an orb at the very least. He hears everybody. Yeah. They're ready for it, though.
mean, he's going to get the information, but he has a classic, and Mind Freak is going to check it. Takes him down. Gets healed.
Spike planted.
Noise cut out of range, but obviously quite well suspected. Maybe not the stinger, though.
There we go again. I mean, this guy is he's pretty good at hitting those, and now Governor trying to get in. Picks him off. Something here as well, though, to clean it up.
One enemy remaining.
Surf goes down as well. Ban sneaking his way in.
Yeah, but now you imagine, right? He's not there for the trades. He has to be coming from the other side. Jing's ready for it. Jing doing his best right now to keep Paper Rex in the fight, and that they are. Only 3 rounds away. It's kind of a similar situation as that first match we had.
Yeah.
Where Talon is, they're not that close to map point just yet.
No, it's definitely a bit away. Some decent looks here from the side of Talon in this round, but obviously not able to get much done with Classics and Sheriffs. You can see something. He's not celebrating just yet.
Yeah,
Still
they got a
some
ways
work
to
do.
go. Thrash on both sides. You've got Seekers and an Orbital Strike for Paper Rex as well. Again, they'll be happy to use the Orbital Strike to get into the site, to deny it, rather than just using it for post-plant. Obviously, they'll be happy to do so if it's easy. But the early Thrash. Now you even have a Lurk and Lamps. You've still got control of B as well.
Yeah, they're just going to TP on over towards B. Governor on the back of the site here. He's not able to hit any shots, and they're not going to commit to it, actually. As they rotate out once again. That Lurk you mentioned before, Forsaken just sticking in Lamps, making things interesting.
But Jitboys does suspect it, right? That's why he's still holding on to triple, because the rotation's there in time. They have to clear out Lamps, and that's exactly what they'll do. Forsaken spot him. Lamps retaken. Thrash is chasing him around.
Uh-oh. Serve huge in Lamps, and he will stay alive after picking up those 2 kills. Now he's just trying to get out with his life, and he will. He survives. Yes, the plant does come down. That's a nice shot through the box here from something. Mind Freak trying to hold down the showers as well, but Van expects it doesn't matter. Mind Freak able to get the kill. And now he's looking for more. He picks up 2. Meanwhile, some spam through from something. It's a 2-on-2 as in comes Divine.
Surf.
And it's up to something 1v2. It's not going to happen. Surf picks up the 4K.
A massive round from the youngster on Talon. He said he's back to help represent Thailand here in VCT Pacific, and he is doing a bang-up job putting them on the map. I mean, he did everything. He reclaimed control of Lamps, he held on to it, he swings for the trade, gets the flank. I mean, absolutely beautiful play from Surf. I love his energy, man.
Yeah.
It's just so raw. You love to see it.
Oh, yeah, he's having a great time. Governor here, he does not have enough money for any armor.
Yeah, glass cannon. I mean, yeah, it's an op. 1 shot, 1 kill.
Yeah.
Well, he gets the showstopper as well. They use the Cove, it appears, to get the showstopper.
Here we go.
He sends it.
Yeah, he's going to go in onto that B site. Governor on the back here. Well, that glass cannon didn't quite work at close range operator.
Doesn't know the wraparound.
Uh-oh. Jitboy's still able to get the kill. And for some reason, he is still alive. That's another kill going the way of Jitboys. He picks up 3, and Paper X kind of dropped the ball there. Talent excellently done.
What in the world, Jitboys? It looked like he was going to be late for the swing around and Devi, but then when he's doing that, you'd think the wraparound's coming from Tube, but it doesn't, because it has a judge, so they're going into Tube, and he is just swiveling on a pivot. Paper X, obviously no more timeouts left either.
Yeah, they had to use both in the first half. And, I mean, Talon, they tried to bring out Lotus, maybe something they were comfortable with, but it really feels like they have prepped a lot for Bind, as this has been the one where they have dominated Paper X. Somewhat surprisingly, but it looks very nice.
Oh, and the push out.
Oh, boy.
Dude, the control and the tempo is just perfect from Talon. You already have map point. You're feeling comfy. The opponents are in an eco, so you try to throw the curveball by pushing out yourselves. It's an important kill, too. No Gecko. That means on the spike plant, they're going to be down in numbers. And Governor, he's just holding on to heaven. He just wants to make sure they don't get all the way into defender spawn. You're even gonna send the TP, but Cruz is meant to just draw attention. The real force is still gonna be the flank all the way around through A short.
Spike planted.
Well, he's cleared out showers mostly. Still have Mind Freak over here. Cruz, he's like, all right, you know, maybe I'll take a little bit of time, wait for my team to actually push in before I go for this. He's gonna pick it up, and there's the kill. Quick headshot going his way. Divide, though, he's clean and short. Picks up 2, maybe 3, but not quite enough. And now it's all up to Forsaken. Divine gave him a chance. Can he put the lid on it and bring them back? No, he will not. Talon will take the second map in a huge way, 13-7.
Absolutely. The score isn't as one-sided, but overall the momentum in that first half absolutely felt like it, and the recovery was solid on the defense. Talon, good reads, and amazing aims. The lurks just perfect from Surf, but we'll send it over to the desk to break it down a little bit further.
And suddenly we feel like balance is restored somewhat to Pacific. It was leaning heavily in favor of one earlier, but now it seems like, okay, this was a little bit better, but this was PRX's map pick, so this confuses me too.
And, well, this is something that I kind of touched on when I was going through my copium segment of as far as, you know, what Talon could look forward to. And clearly, a lot of preparation did go into this bind, but also seemingly, for the side of PaperX, just not enough blood back to the brains a little bit there. There was too much of a head rush after that 13-0. It felt like they couldn't really recollect themselves. They couldn't bring themselves down off that high. Because right off the rip, we saw, you know, just whiff shots from nailing absolutely every single shot they were going for on Lotus. A ton of whiffage was happening here early on bind.
Totally whiffage. I mean, there are these moments where, yeah, exactly what Achilles is saying. You're holding an off angle. You know you're supposed to get that kill. You can't miss that shot, but, you know, like cortisol, adrenaline or something, and you start to shake, and sometimes those whiffs come through. And, I mean, credit to Talon, truly, because I was confused about, like, why they left bind open. This is, like, PaperX's undefeated map pick, like 3-0. And then they intentionally left it open. You see that timeout, I think it was like round 9 from Coach Frost, and they pull off that like stealth strat of just
rotating all the way around.
Oh
they went all around the world.
Right, and it's all the way around. Like, they got B. You think they're going to stop there. No. We're just going to wrap all the way back around, sneak and infiltrate behind your site, and PaperX is none the wiser. Like, that is incredible, incredibly impressive stuff from Talon. But on the other hand, I mean, Surf, what was that, like, quadruple? It should have been an ace.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those last few rounds, Surf was looking alive and well. It was an incredible performance from him on that Viper. But, I mean, pretty much everybody, I mean, Cruz, again, he sat back, he's doing the calling, he's putting out his util and finding an immense amount of value from the get-go. Don't need him to be fragging out of control when you have the rest of the team that are putting up solid figures. Ban as well, continuing to look just great overall. You know, the 13-0, a blip. We can just go ahead and move past that now. It no longer matters. All that matters is this next map. And if PaperX are going to have another soft start like they had here on Bind, we could be saying goodbye to this team. And again, this is a squad that has not missed out on qualification for an international event since 2021. It's been 931 days since they lost that faded game to Damwon in the 2021 LCQ. It would be absolutely insane for it to happen here today.
Well,
I mean, after a 13-0.
Quack and I were like,
yeah, and after starting things off with a 13-0 victory in the series, that would be such a testament to Talon. I mean, already coming back in and looking dominant here on Bind is already such a strong testament to their ability to be able to recuperate after that devastating loss. But can they close it? That's the question. Because now it's PaperX. They have to be the ones to bounce back.
So I kind of miss like that Cypher cam, the spy cam that we had from last year. You know, I can't imagine what's going on in the back of PaperX's, you know, ready rooms right now, because they have to be discussing something. They definitely overheated on this map. There were, you know, not just moments where there's like whiffage going through. There were these moments where they started to go in for these individual peaks, ego peaks. They wanted to get those kills so bad. They believed that they could do it against Talon, but it was not meant to be. Talon was just a lot steadier on this map pick. So Sunset then is like the question, right? Because Talon has only played that once.
My smile is like this right now because I'm like, uh-oh, this could potentially mean, you know, a really, really big upset, especially since Paper Rex, I mean, after that 13-0, as we were saying, you know, which was like perfect Valorant, suddenly, you know, you're looking at Talon, and they're looking like a team that's gone through the worst and prepared to come back. And I think that that is incredibly scary, especially for Paper Rex right now that are coming off of, like, you know, scratching their heads and maybe acknowledging that they're not exactly, you know, on the same page right now.
Yeah, I mean, things were very much disconnected. I mean, achieving perfection is already so difficult. They managed to do that, but it's completely unsustainable. I think that they got maybe a little bit too heated up, a little bit too cocky, perhaps, going into that bind, because, like you're saying, I mean, there's so many moments where it's just like, okay, I'm just going to swing through this harbor wall, unassisted, no flash or anything really to try to go for it, and I'm just going to, I'm just going to dip them. And then they were just getting knocked down time and time again. There's so many just odd decision-making moments here from the side of Paper Rex where it was paying off for them every single time back over on Lotus. This time around, it wasn't going their way at all, but we continue to see those efforts still be made. So it was really good capitalization from the side of Talon, and you know, it's another map. They've only played Sunset once themselves, but they have gotten to see multiple different looks, multiple iterations from Paper Rex that they can and will have studied. So have they done enough? Do they have a solid enough understanding on that map to be able to break this down, much like they did on Bind?
I'm just like listening to Achilles. I'm actually a little bit nervous right now for Paper X because of everything they're saying. Yeah,
you're like literally squirming right now.
Actually, like the Paper X fan in me is like, oh my god, please, 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 because again, like. Talon is such an incredible team. Coach Frost is pretty incredible as well, and they've had like what 4 days since Monday against that match against Team Secret. Have they had enough time to really prepare that much? Because Bind, clearly they prepared. Sunset, was that something that they anticipated? And Paper X's Sunset is not something that you want to scoff at either. Then you think about the pressure of this being a knockout match as well. Is that going to cause Paper X to shake even more?
Well, I guess, like, you know, talking to Coach Frost is a good thing because Talon got 2 wins after their timeout compared to Paper X getting 1 win, which
I was
means
this close. I was this close to actually being able to get the tie prediction.
Yeah.
If Paper X if they converted a bonus, they get a timeout from Frost immediately.
It wasn't.
They'd be going in with an eco. It gets tied up. I look like a genius. I completely misunderstood the rules of the game when I went for this.
Well,
but I also probably still would have been wrong because I would have gone with everybody else and said Paper X.
I'm just going to go down proudly.
Everybody's going down. If it helps everybody,
Join
like, you know, what happens here? Production. What happens? What is life after Iron?
We just
what do we do? You just stay here?
Yeah.
Like, okay, somebody whose birthday it is today, by the way, suggested that we probably should put like a trash can here.
Okay.
But yes, we will rank down. Come with me, viewers. Let's go on a journey back to Platinum over here. Meanwhile, question mark?
Question
mark at the moment, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
One day, you will all be joining me. It's gonna happen. Everyone's just gonna slip down. You will sulk with me and quack in our pit of despair.
For now, though, take pride, Iron Man. You will stay there a little bit further, and perhaps even for the rest of the week. But we'll see. Getting back into this, though, again, if you're not already nervous about your Iron there, I'm pretty much sweating for what might happen. PRX and Sunset, yes, looking really good. However, I would say Talon right now, the momentum is in their favor. So, like you, Quack, I'm a little bit nervous. My hands are actually shaking, if you can see that. You can't see that. It's too small. But yes, my hands are shaking.
I mean, momentum can only go so far. Clearly, you can overdo momentum. I think that Talon, the main thing for Frost is just getting them off stage and immediately cooling them off. Just like, don't ride the high of getting that 13-7. You just be like,
don't commit.
Why are you guys? Why are you guys excited? We still have a game to play. Wipe everything else from your memory. We didn't get 13-0'd. We did not just win on Bind. We're playing a best of 1 on Sunset versus Paper X. That's kind of has to be the focus, and it's very similar for Paper X's camp.
It's a total reset. It's a really helpful mentality as well, especially when you're doing such intense competitions like this, right? Right now, we are about to check out Agent Select into Sunset. Are we expecting anything right now, especially since the circumstances, Quack, are so dire?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be anything too insane or different. I feel like when it comes down to this, you know, dire situations, you just have to go with what's tried and true. Everything that you've practiced before in scrims, try to pull out the performance as best as possible. We've seen that something Gecko before. We saw it on Bind. A little bit shaky, mixed performances. You know, the last time PlayerX played this, it was against Team Secret. They didn't do too well either. So there is, you know, that slight nerves coming through. Meanwhile, for Talon, they've only played this once, but they've had a little bit of time to study and prepare for this.
Ooh, and we've got a substitution coming on in. It's going to be
Oh,
out.
okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait, what was that? What was that?
No one saw anything. You didn't see Jack.
It was not.
All right,
Okay,
here we go.
okay, there it is. Okay. Thoughts on this, gentlemen?
First of all, Forsaken Breach, I mean, maybe they're trying to, you know, pick up some ideas from, like, Team Secret, for example. You know, again, how you want to control that A elbow. Jing on that stage. No, excuse me, it's like Devi on that stage, yeah. And then that's always going to work out great. You know, you've got some interesting ways that you can use that wall. But, of course, the biggest elephant in the room right now is Governor on this Neon.
Yeah, I mean, they're bringing out the Neon. It's another adjustment here. Seen it from them now on Breeze, on Lotus, and here on Sunset. The Sage does play against this Neon quite well. The slow orbs, the walls, etc. All of that helping you to really slow down that pacey attack that you're going to, you know, want to see from Governor's side if you're cheering for Talon. But of course, Lenny coming in, he's just going to be playing that Sova, somebody that, you know, continues to just kind of be the main guy to play that. No one else really has that flexibility. But Lenny, how warmed up is he going to be? He's been sat back. He's been watching. He watches him get devastated on Lotus. He watches them win on Bind. Is he in form off the rip?
Big questions, and we're going to get the answers as we pass it on over to William and to Valdez.
Thank you so much, Analyst Desk, for breaking down that Talon win. Our guests and gainers just keep on going down. Everybody, including the viewers.
Yeah, where's the gain and the guess and gain, you know?
It's just guess and lose today, man. I don't know. But it's big wins for Talon, right? And I think that nobody really expected that, especially after the 13-0. That's part of why nobody won, the guess and gain. So here we go. Talon by themselves, a third map. And PaperX, you heard them talking about how you got to cool down Talon after that first one, but I can't imagine. You know, Alex had a couple of timeouts. Had a lot to say, but still PaperX weren't able to win on Bind.
All right, draws out the Paranoia as well. I mean, that's a lot of value because you saw the stack in mid, and you saw the Paranoia in B. So you know that A has to be a free site. The only thing is how do you combat the retake? You know the cooldowns are still there for the Breach. The Paranoia no longer, but you've got to have an answer to kind of push back in. And this counter recon set up for a timing. They hear the flank.
Yeah.
Tripwire destroyed.
It's going to be up to Lenny potentially, Ben, and the rest of them checking in there. Everybody trying to push on in. And they are going to be cut down. Lenny getting that first kill.
This regroup is good towards the back of sight. It's a good clear.
Yeah. Clear that out. Lenny is going to be taken out now. This Talon just trying to sit in the smoke, trying to wait on this one. They try to clear it out. Forsaken will be able to. And Jit Boys is going to try to spam through, but it's not quite enough. But they do stop the defuse. But there should be enough time with the second half. Easily done. PaperX, though, that was not an easily done round. Certainly a lot of fireworks going back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy for PaperX, but it just shouldn't have ever been PaperX's to begin with. The read to push back. I mean, Lenny losing that duel, fine. You know, you could consider it's a bit of 50-50, but Ban losing on that duel in the smoke, that is rough. You were meant to just get one more guy, just buy enough time. That is a rough one. The surprises continue from PaperX. The setup overall was so good from Talon. I mean, even this comp coming out, you know, taking it from Team Heretics, a page out of their book. Obviously, Frost has talked about Governor's Neon and how good it is before, so maybe PaperX suspected it a bit. Just a slide by.
Yeah, just slid in to say hello. And now, getting up the walls, getting up into the corner. Bit by bit, Talon trying to make their presence felt on this map, but they're just lining up for Mind Freak.
Here
who
it
has
comes.
4, and he's looking for the ace. He will not get it, though, as Cruz wins with a classic, and then Forsaken has to end it.
Yeah, a little bit of a hard deny there on the ace. Cruz knew that it was coming. Silver lining there is obviously your eco, but also at least it's the omen, right? At least all you're giving up is from the shadows. Yeah, he can ult and close doors now, but it's not the scariest ult in the world.
Spike.
He knows what he did. Device shaking his head a little bit too with a grin.
Yeah.
Early null command for Cruz, so Talon's still keeping up on the resources quite well. The early 4 kills helps a lot.
That definitely does, and they're coming in quick, but that is a judge to the face. And something is going to be spotted. They are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him off the wall, but Jing is still here, and they have not cleared this out. As, he's going to be taken out at the end, but certainly a bit iffy there. As now trying to move on in, trying to swing, and Cruz with 3 health is going to win that trade.
Yeah, but they're so low. 3 health, like you said, 43 for Lenny. This is their buy round. I mean, the run and gun could be absolutely brutal here. Divide. Oh, he hears Yorb. He waits until the channel finishes.
One enemy.
Oh, and that's the full health member gone.
Oh, man.
Sees one.
Not going to happen. Mind Freak takes down a bunch, and Paper X pick up a bonus round here, 3-0. And that one, I mean, this was getting pretty hectic. You know, it feels like both teams are really upping the tempo. But Paper X are winning out in these big trades when it matters most.
Yeah, and they just know exactly what they need to do to counteract the Neon, right? Set play be damned. The judges will shut it down because they will close the gap for you. Obviously, the bonus round, it's an easier decision to make.
One enemy remaining.
But this is something that Talon are going to have to start to watch out for. I mean, they're obviously relying on Neon buying a lot of space. Now, Governor, whenever he plays a Neon, he doesn't have to get the kills. You can just create space. The rest of your team trades out, but it's not the same as things like Lotus. It's a lot tight quarters, so he does have to stay alive for just a bit longer.
Yeah, so we do have a bit of a tech pause here. Sorry about the delay. We'll try to get this solved as soon as possible. Looks like potentially a monitor.
Yeah, it looks like Mind Freak's monitor.
Gear issue.
Yeah, gear issue. They're tweaking it a bit, it looks like. Maybe Mind Freak spent the past round trying to figure out why he didn't get the ace in the round before that, and he's like, you know what? Maybe it was the monitor.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Maybe it looked a little loose or something. I don't know. It looked fine, but you know, we can only see one side of the monitor.
Yeah. Obviously, they always kind of double check these things before the pause is respected. But I was wondering, because I wouldn't have been surprised, depending on how the comms are going for Talon, that maybe a timeout comes out here, right? Because if the comms are also getting a little hectic, a little overheated, maybe that could have been something. Oh, I'm delayed on the nicknames here for Pulchan.
Please take swimming lessons.
Yeah. Is that something that his viewers have been talking about, is swimming? But I know a lot of people excited to see the outcome for this, and obviously a lot of the co-streamers joining us all around the world. And lots of fans for Paper X, but got Talon fans sprinkled throughout as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Surf right below, by the way. He's just hanging out. He's chilling. He's already done his job. Brought him back into contention. Now it's up to Lenny. I did want to say, since we're in a tech pause, I think this is good context. This is it's a very meaningful game for Lenny, because he's been in this spot before. Last year, when he was on Team Secret, they're about to have a chance to take down TRX once again, get subbed in on map 3. You know, he had to warm up backstage, and it did not go well. It didn't go well. And I'm curious, can he shake that off again against another Titan in Paper X today? It's always tough if you have to sub in. That's one of the things a lot of people, talk about with the 6-man roster. It's very tough to get in the same state that everyone else has been on stage, right? Sure, you can warm up your aim, things like that, but the adrenaline, the mood, the audio, everything, you still got to readjust a little bit.
Well, you talked about Surf being kind of a younger player, and maybe...
Wait, what did that say?
Not safe for broadcast.
Oh, okay.
At least you put a star in there. Thank you. But yeah, he had a really huge map on bind, did Surf, and maybe he was really heating up to the point of potentially overheating, and then it's a really good time to just say, okay, you did your job. Let's bring in Lenny, see how that goes. And so far, they don't have a round win, but it's still very early on. Obviously, we're still here in the tech pause, just trying to figure out the monitor issue. We think it's a monitor issue.
Yeah,
that's gear issue.
That's what we assume here.
They're fiddling with the monitor.
Definitely on Mindfreak's side. Obviously, this being a knockout match, it's really up to all the players to really keep their form throughout this tech pause. You know, it does stink when it happens, but you gotta be able to get through it as well. Obviously, you never know when it's gonna strike.
You want to play? Let's play.
They are playing.
Yeah.
They are playing the game.
Now they are, as it looks like we get our nice little rotation from the magic camera in the sky.
There's a crow in Sunset?
Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 crows. Sorry.
Crow buddies.
Yeah, I've never seen them before, actually.
Yeah. When there's more than one crow, they become crews. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
It was still funny. I still liked it.
It is something like a terror of crows, isn't it?
Yes,
like a group
actually.
of crows. It's something fun like that. English is fun. So is Valorant, and looks like Talon now. Obviously, this is not a buy round for them, but let's see if they can make their mark on this round.
And the Outlaws strike again. Forsaken has some great memories with this weapon on this map ever since it's been introduced. Used to be with that KO, now on that Breach. Obviously, Paper X, they made some adjustments ever since their loss to Team Secret. It's still not a traditional Sentinel in the Sage, but something still gets killed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Forsaken being pressured here, and he's still able to get the shot down, but he is not very long for this world. So, traded back, and that, I suppose, is a win for Talon. Here comes Jing looking to pressure onto that spike carrier. He does get traded out as Crew's going to hit that headshot with the Sheriff.
30 seconds left.
Flash is going to get him out. Divide not necessarily hitting those shots, but at the end of the day, they will, and everybody gets 1 kill. Paper X pick up 4.
So overall, obviously that round, you're back on Eco. You didn't even invest in the armor. It seems like they straight expected the Outlaw as well. Don't want to let it snowball into consecutive rounds. Holy! Glad we saw that on replay.
Yep. That's something.
Overall, good backup for Mindfreak. But the previous 3 rounds, okay, so here comes the timeout. Because I was wondering, because I don't think necessarily the start to each round was necessarily bad. I also think the attempt at recovery wasn't too bad from Talon. It definitely wasn't similar to Lotus, where they were just getting absolutely just bulldozed all the way through. But the problem is that the adjustments on the defaults, the expectations of Paper X's next moves haven't quite been there. And now, curious to see. For the first couple rounds, you've really just been kind of sending it, going for the obvious route with a Neon. Go for early pressure with the movement, try to create space, try to get that first kill. All right, that's been stopped. You recognize that Paper X now have multiple tools, like the slow orbs, like the fault lines. So how do you bait that out and then go for your next strike? I don't even think you have to cook too much for like over-rotates, things like that if you're Talon. Not yet. You still haven't tested enough of the waters.
Not yet.
I mean, you might need to. Maybe Paper X is still better prepared, but I think there's still a couple extra mini steps that they can take in their adjustments. Just baiting out some early utility. Now the ops online. Divide continuing to be that primary opper. That's been a change as well. Something oftentimes even on the Gecko picks up that op.
Yeah. It was a bit... Yeah. And they're just going to leave Jitboys here, it looks like. Flash comes on through from Forsaken. And that's another pick from something on the ban. That just keeps happening. This time it was an even fight. Jitboy's going to find Divide, who just puts up a wall. And immediately snipes it down. Divide with the click, the quick flick. And now Governor trying to get in there, but he's not able to hit the shots. Only Cruz gets the 1. Cruz gets the 2. Now the drone coming out here, a chance, but pretty low health. 36 and 14 health for the 2 members of Talon.
Yeah, combined just 50. Footsteps will be heard right at the edge, it seems, so you know the rotates are coming. I mean, yeah, Talon, it's a coin flip at this point, right? You heard from the shadows. You're just hoping you're faster, but here is something.
Oh, he hears it. He's going to wait for the plant.
They don't suspect it.
Yeah, they just think they can waltz on into the site. It's not going to work out that way as the crash even. Not going to hit him. Lenny, very low on health and just gets distracted. Something picking up the 3K, and that's now 5-0 for the side of Paper X.
Overall, it's not bad, but here's the thing. Talon so far does seem to overly rely on Ban staying alive on the lurk. They really seem to rely on the lurks. It was the same thing on Vine. Surf going in. Now, him winning a lot of the duels made it easy. But what happens when Ban can't? Wow, that's incredible. I mean, Jitboy's even first suspects the pop up, then he's trying to break the wall. Like, he's trying to do his best. But what happens when Ban can't win the fight? I mean, this is nothing against Ban. It's something you're up against. You're not going to win 100% of those duels.
Yeah. All right. Gonna try to come in quick with Jing. Pushing out, does get traded back. This wall's coming up. Governor getting in there, expecting this flank, but something's still going to win the trade. He has been crispy today. As Mind Freak also pushing out, picks up 2 kills. That leaves Cruz alone, and Cruz is dead. 6-0.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see that second timeout come from Talon. Coach Frost has not shied away from also using 2 timeouts and a half. And here's the thing, Paper X, they now definitely have a read on all the options that Talon has prepared so far. You know exactly how that Neon's going to be used. You know that it's always going to be used to create space. You know you can punish it in a 1v1. They're always cutting off the potential for the lurk. You know, mid was taken over last round, so now they go out for the tiles push. And Talon, they're not covering their backs. They're a little bit too focused. They're tunnel vision into their own comp. Timeout doesn't come out just yet, but it is going to be a half buy here.
Yeah. See Governor once again trying to get aggressive. Forsaken not to be able to hit that. As they do push on in, Forsaken will be pushed all the way to the back of the site, but getting some time now for the rotation to come in. Governor trying to take away that time as he will get onto the site.
Sick lineup from something there all the way from mid to help try to delay.
All right, decent start as Cruz gets the 1 kill. Ban expecting this, but still not able to win against the Vandal. And now everybody's just flashed up, and that's going to be an easy retake here for the side of Paper X. Only Mind Freak going down.
Yeah, the retake absolutely well prepared with the Rolling Thunder. Governor does his best. He's close. I believe he wasn't hit by the Rolling Thunder, but it's just a stinger. And it's 2 people. The bullets spread out, it seems, and he can't get the spray down on one and instantly transfer to the second. Paper X just still having fun. And again, it's tough to beat someone who's having fun on their job right now. Well, he catches sight, too. The Rolling Thunder is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, actually caught everybody. Jing's not overreacting, still having fun. You know, we've seen 13-0s before.
now we have, yes.
We haven't seen 2 in the same series.
That's true. I mean, we've never seen 2 in 1 year since, you know, Pacific Americas, you know, all these divisions came through for the international leagues.
Yeah. Well,
that's nothing against EME and China. I just didn't want to list all 4.
They took it personally. Here comes Zip Boys. Okay, he's going to pick up 2.
Spike down.
Making things interesting, but still advantage Paper X.
Spike dropped as well.
Last player standing.
Forsaken's ready for it. I mean, the backup is just so fast for this team. How are they faster than a Neon comp? That's the most ridiculous part. I mean, they just instantly react. And the thing is Paper X, they have felt that they don't need to hard commit onto a site, right? They don't hard commit onto A main. They're not pushing out with the one-way because they know Talon's going to approach. There's no reason for a default for Paper X. They just have to be ready for backup.
Yeah. Wasn't even necessarily clean from something that time around, but it's still going to be enough to pretty much sweep the entire round. As now 8-0, that's the second timeout called here by Frost and by the side of Talon. And
if they can stabilize here, it's not over, but I think they need a 4-8 at the very least, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Going to defense with a Neon, you're still going to have to push out. It's still pretty plainly written what advantage you have. But hopefully that's something that Frost is talking to the team about right now. Coach Frost about how, the pattern's been the same. Okay, the Neon, it's a death ball through. The first contact, he's still going through it. Ban's still on the alert. There just hasn't been a separate setup right now for Talon. And Paper Rex, it has made their job on the read very, very simple.
Yeah. You saw Frost there wasn't anger, it was more so just maybe a bit of frustration, disappointment mixed, It's rough because you looked so good on Bind, and it feels pretty obvious now that they prepared a lot for Bind, especially when you're going up against Paper X and you're not going to ban it. I think it makes sense. But the other 2 maps so far they've looked nothing like Bind. It's been the total opposite. So it's definitely been rough for Talon. Here's hoping for their sake they can pull it back. Paper X certainly looking a bit better here on this 3rd map compared to the 2nd one.
All right, you know that the Neon ult is up, and that's what Mind Freak is for. He's there to shut it down, and it's perfect. It's hard to check that close corner on the slide in.
They just read everything.
Yeah, I mean, the reads are super strong. And here's the thing, Talon this time, yeah, it's a slight variation. Oh, the aim shaky as well. It's trapped.
Ooh.
Nowhere to go on this one.
Yeah. Well, eventually they make it not very fair. Nice look away here from Lenny. He's going to win that 1v1.
Right there. Right
now,
here.
looking for something, but the double swing comes out, but Ban picks up both.
Huge double swing out from Talon. Lenny having the read on the positions. The neural theft. You know it's an op. With the arrow?
Last player standing.
What?
Okay. Just don't fire. There's too many people. Very nicely done for Ban, by the way. He is able to clutch that round for the team. He gets the first round here for the side of Talon. And that gives them a shot.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely needed. So the start of this round, what's the difference that Talon makes after the timeout? They delay their initial util, wait for the push out, and it's a long-range lineup for the 0 point. It's on the other side. They're trying to start to mix things up. It's not a 4-1. It's not a death ball. But is that enough? Because here's the thing. When Talon played against Secret, they eventually lost this map, but they had some great conditioning with their util. So I would hope the remaining rounds they're able to rekindle that just a little bit. Don't tunnel vision onto the Neon themselves. Uh-oh, the timing.
Oh, Jing trying to go back on that one, but now the blind's coming out. Talon, they're on the site here, 3 of them, but the spike is all the way back at the base. Still advantage to them, 5v3.
And something's just going to hide out right here. Man, finally some revenge after having a terrible time in that duel over by the B site.
Yeah, able to shoot them down pretty well in the last couple of rounds, you could say. Device still holding on to this operator, and he is going to pick up 1 kill.
Spike
Doesn't
down
get
A.
hit by the second guy, and now is looking to get a bit aggressive. As he's not able to stop that bolt. Puts up a wall, though. He's going to try to swing onto them. He's got a little bit of help here from Mind Freak as well. That's a second kill. And everybody else is in elbow.
And the res!
And the res! Oh, but that's a nice kill from Jit Boys, and that's going to be another from Ban. Make it 2. Picks up the 3K here on the round. So Talon, 2 rounds in a row. All it took was 2 timeouts.
There you go. 2 timeouts, 2 rounds. They don't have any more timeouts, though, so they're going to have to start to try to chain them. But Ban coming up huge when they needed it most. I mean, yeah, he was designated to just be solo lurk, so I don't know if you can really blame him for having a rough start to the map overall. But now he's getting on the board. He's starting to climb up. Governor still 0 kills, but here's the thing. If he can create space, if he can buy time, it's not the end of the day for a Neon, right? I don't know if he can focus on it too much. Obviously, yeah, you should probably win a duel here and there. But for now, you can't focus on that score if you're Governor. Your role is the bait. You're creating space. You're drawing out crosshairs. You're keeping them tied up on A site.
And Freak spots him, gets contact into mid. I throw out a paranoia just in case they were looking to push. Throws up a smoke as well. Says, you shall not pass through this angle. And Talon will respect that. They're going to back away and maybe look for A.
Okay, but now Dizzy, not recoverable. Paranoia also out. Fault line, the cooldown's going to return shortly. But A site's not bad because the retake has been weakened. You know they still have the op as well. Oh,
Unfortunate from Ban on the lurk.
Yeah, but now you know it's a hit, right? Because it's back to the same default. And here's the show.
Oh, what? Amazing read from Talon. Is it going to matter, though, as the detain comes in? Well, they're not going to try to push onto that just yet.
Wingman's down.
Still 40 seconds. There's still that threat for a rotate. They've been in this position before. The two callers on
30
Talon.
seconds left. One enemy.
Oh, my. Wow. That's Mind Freak for you.
Hey, he just has those big rounds sometimes, and that
Last
is another
round
one.
before the switch.
Picks up a couple of kills there right at the end, and he's on top of the scoreboard for Paper X. Not something you see all the time, but he gets this win against Ban. He gets the information. It was a nice read here. Through in the relay bolt, they try to bait out the showstopper, didn't get any value. And that allows Paper X, well, it allows Talon a chance to win that round, but Paper X do pick it up at the end.
All right, you got ults, Talon. If they want a chance, they gotta make it at the very least a 9-3. Oh. No command. It's gonna be a little late, and it's gonna be mass. The Hunter's Tree actually massing.
Down A.
It works
man.
against them.
Now the spam is going to take out the KO on the ground. Oh,
he
that's a
spotted.
barrel.
Enemy
Something wasn't looking there right away, but still going to get the kill, and that is going to put an end to that push out of Talon. So it's not 13-0, but it is an extremely strong half from the side of Paper X, 10-2.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we've seen crazy things, but this is, again, 10-2 is that scoreline when it is absolutely up to the pistol. And Talon will have to have cooked up something crazy because, I mean, they were close to winning that first pistol here on the attacking side, and that's where everything went wrong. See if they've got a better plan to secure another round on the board on the defense. Now, the obvious take again with that Neon, it's going to be the push out. It's going to be the easy control of A main, things like that. It does seem like they're not letting it get to them too much, but that's the best you can try right now.
Yeah. Well, still happy. I mean, they know Paper X is a very strong opponent, and the map isn't done just yet, so try to keep your cool until the very end, and we'll see. Paper X, best team in the world. We'll see about that. We'll see if they can make it into Masters first and foremost. They gotta make it through Talon first.
Yeah, they gotta make it through Talon, and if they do, yes, they get a couple more chances, but all the opponents are looking pretty strong on the other side. Obviously, DRX next. Whoever wins this, the loser, of course, eliminated here from stage 1. They'll have to wait until stage 2. Do have the armor on for Governor. You got double relay bolt. So you've got options to push out. You've got options for a retake. But 3 ghosts at the end of the day.
Still, the fans cheering for the hope of a potential comeback here for Talon. We'll see if it happens. It's got to start here, as you mentioned. You got to get this pistol. Paper X with a Sage. We'll see just how fast they want to go here from the attacker's side.
This is a very fast rotate over from Talon. That recon has absolutely cleared A main. And they're even going to rotate the Neon over as well because they're expecting Paper X not going to go for the rotates.
Well, they're getting in here. The plant is going to come on in. Paranoia as well on the swing from Zip Boys. He only gets 1. Grade 1 for 1. Cruz in the back of the side here trying to line them up, and he picks up 3! Double headshot with the Collat. Mind Freak alone, 20 health, and he is dead. Talon will pick up the pistol.
Huge pistol win here for Talon, and a little messy, but it's always going to be because it's been a while since we've seen a lot of the attacking with the Sage from Paper X. Back in the off season when they used, of course, the no duelist coming out, or not off season, but at kickoff. But the biggest thing is that Sage Wall suddenly makes B-Site an absolute pain to go for the retakes, right? It makes it very easy to just focus in on one side. Once you get the rifles, it's even better for the spray downs. So you have to go for the fast rotates. The retakes are going to be absolute hell for Talon. So the pistol, they're on the right track.
Yeah. See a couple of half armors from the side of Paper X. I say we'll commit just a little bit. A couple of sheriffs too. But let's see what kind of angle they do want to take here on this eco. Just picking up some orbs. We're going to get that one. Just hoping that someone on the side of Talon gets out of position or they get a lucky pick through the smoke here in mid.
It's going to be a pinch through market. We can see the lineup here for the fault line all the way through. No one should get hit by it.
Uh-oh. And they're trying to stop this one, and that they will. Mindfreak gets the 1 kill, but Governor as well with the judge. Gonna take down 2, and now it's only Jing who was able to pick up a gun, but not going to matter. Talon picks up the anti-go. 10-4.
They're on for it for now. Obviously, this bonus is going to be a big test because they're not going to have the best of the weapons to carry over. The Neon fine with the judge, though. So we saw it come to some decent value here. A little bit of payback against Paper Rex. Their own medicine on the defense. But Talon, you can see they're zoned in. They know it's a long road ahead. Half armors, a naked shorty for Jit Boys. So it's a little rough. So they're just going to go for the stack on A.
See if that works out for them. We do have Ban holding down the B site by himself. Very fitting. Another orb going to be picked up here by Jing, who is 3 away from his showstopper.
And Talon, I mean, they were hoping that it's going to be a different setup this time after they get pushed away by the recon, but it's still just going to be that B side hit. Can they do any damage?
Well, they get the plant down. That shock dart was
a little bit off.
Yeah, not going to hit anyone. Jing here in this corner. Ooh, not the cleanest, and Ban got 2 headshots, and now Governor's in with the judge.
It hits.
Yeah, the relay bolt's coming out as well, and Jit Boy's trying to get in there. He's trying to pick off someone. It's only Mindfreak on the back, and they will take him down. Talon, they pick up the bonus.
Holy, Jit Boy started this with no armor and a shorty. How do they win this round? I mean, first of all, the paranoia, then the relay bolt.
Starts with Ban.
Well, it starts with Ban. 2 incredible shots. And Governor, I mean, they broke the wall earlier, so he can just go right in for the flank, and the Neon really helps once you break that wall. Yeah, that you are.
He's back, baby. He was 0 and 12
yes.
on the first half, so he is certainly back.
Yeah, absolutely. He needed that for sure. That draws out the timeout, and something they'll have to consider is that fast pinch in. Even with the wall, it's easy to get in, but it's not necessarily easy to hold. Also, I just want to say in that 2v2, I mean, Jit Boy sacrificing a life, no armor, jumps up onto that little wall, creates a high-low. The threat, absolutely massive.
Yeah. Saw a little bit of anger out of Alex, but then a lot of OKs and a lot of, you know, trying to calm things down.
One of my favorite clips is in the recent clips that VCT Pacific has released where something asks Alex why he has a headache, and he tells him it's okay to admit that he has a lot of stress. I was like, no, I just have a headache. He's like, no, it's okay. It's okay to say you have a lot of stress. Oh,
it
man.
is. It's okay. And I'm sure he does.
Oh, I mean,
it's a stressful job.
Yeah, being a coach, I can't imagine. And now all Stinger is trying to pick up the speed. You've got Thrash. I gotta imagine it might even just be used by Paper X. They don't shy away from those.
Yeah.
This is a nice spot.
Great trap wire. That's a hard one to read. Still should get cleared out pretty easily with a paint shell, though.
Well, they're gonna wait for now. Not pushing right off the rip.
Yeah, but look at this push out on B main. Absolutely cleared. You could leave the Neon, you could not. It doesn't matter. They're gonna have to re-clear it anyway. So the rotates are going to come through. You've still got a trap in mid. The only real place is market, and that's where they'll stay. They'll even send the drone out. Talon wants to commit to an over-rotate.
Governor going back. And now, I mean, they've got 3 guys on A with Vandals and 1 Odin, actually. So you like Talon's chances here.
Right, there's the 0 point off of the Aftershock. But everything's still activated.
He's got 2 health and a Vandal and a Dream down. We'll go Divine. That is the detain, though. Jing's still alive here.
Timing. Governor.
Ooh. Huge couple of kills.
Oh,
Something! But the vision through the box, and now it's a 1-on-1. Forsaken has 4 health. It's another meaning to his name, and now he's just going to rotate over to B.
30 seconds left.
See if Forsaken can do it. I mean, he's got a Rolling Thunder if he gets the plant. This is not a guaranteed win for Lenny, no matter the health.
Yeah. Well, you see a blind coming out, and Lenny maybe feeling like he's been red on this rotation, trying to run.
Forsaken's gonna play for the spike tap.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have an internal timer, surely, on this read. Oh, the recon's gonna give it away.
Yeah.
He hides from it.
He does, and there it is, Forsaken! Picks it up, hits the headshot, 3K, and that's the Thrifty. The play works out for Paper X.
Not like this if you're Talon. I mean, you do everything to try to hold. Do they get a little bit antsy with the flood? Maybe, right? Sure, it's a eco or a half buy on the other side, but that flick, that's where it all goes wrong. The Sheriff flick and Forsaken, the confidence oozing out.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, like the momentum was just getting started for Talon. They got that bonus. They were beginning to get things going here on the second half. And just like that, an incredibly close round. I mean, Forsaken on 4 health, winning it, just barely picking up a Thrifty. It's going to give a lot of momentum over the side of PRX, although now Jing just going to run on in. Divide, just trade it back.
Lenny's stuck, though. Raze was just the beginning. Jing was just the bait. I mean, Talon thought they had the read, and they did. Onto the Raze. But it's much more than that.
Oh, Cruz. Not quite able to hit that first hit shot, and now they should be able to get this free plant onto A. The rest of Talon just trying to rotate around towards the lobby.
Yeah, he'll even get the res, and again, that Sage Wall starts to become that pain. Talon, are they just gonna go for the save? I mean, it seemed like they were. So it seems like Governor had the read that the res was coming, and he wanted to punish it, then maybe get out. But the Dizzy lands right on his head.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they were calling for the save. I mean, this is Talon's making the tough decision to give match point.
I mean, at this point, pretty difficult, especially after the res, obviously, and the kill. And that means that Jing, he gets res, he picks up his own gun, and he's going to be ready to go right for the match point, as you mentioned. 12-5 will be the scoreline here for Paper X. And it's been a bumpy ride from 13-0, and then Binds lost by Paper X, Talon with a big comeback, and now Paper X on match point on Sunset.
They gotta pull out all the heroics because you still got that Rolling Thunder Forsaken got during that clutch round. He's been able to save it up. They've got full buys. You got no timeouts. Sure, you have Huntress Fury, but it's not the best collection of weapons here for Talon. Cruz could get his no command. And they're gonna try to go for a mid push out. It's a shrouded step. It will get heard.
Oh, he spotted. There's a Rolling Thunder. It is going to catch Lenny.
Oh, what a setup by Paper X. It was never about bottom mid.
Oh, okay. Cruz with a bit of a comeback. The back to 4th trades in mid. Actually, at the end of the day, going the way of Talon.
And Paper X is thinking far ahead, right? It's a 2v3. If we lose, whatever, not a big deal. They're already on match point, but they'll start to rack up those ult orbs, see if they can get a second one just in case it's needed. And now they're just relying on 1v1s. Trying to break apart the group up of Talon. Talon, they have to stick together as much as possible.
Well,
Okay,
they're about to get a surprise. It's not going to matter. Governor does hit the shot. And down goes Wingman. Something surely soon to follow with the double peak about to happen. Maybe a triple, actually. He does get one, but it's still a round win over to the side of Talon. Keeping themselves alive, 12-6.
That's the best way to put it. Alive, but oh so barely. Because look at their econ. The full buys aren't going to come out, not with the full armor at the very least. I mean, Cruz very quick on the backup, because otherwise that was an amazing setup by Paper X. You know, the Rolling Thunder makes it look like it's going to be a pinch through mid, but it's always been about tiles and Mind Freak. Now, they're going to try to go maybe for another push out onto B main. Clear that out nice and early. Worried about the early blast packs.
Somebody's here, but the relay bolt's gonna catch him.
Oh, that's huge.
Ting is just dead. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The rest of the team over by A, but they're not gonna rush things just yet.
Okay, so starting to turn into some more trap plays here from Talon. It's a good adjustment, but maybe it's just a bit too late. The wide swing. What a classic. Just something things.
Uh-oh, Governor. Oh, looks away at the exact wrong time. Very unfortunate for him. And that's going to be a big pickup for Devi. And this A site, they do have a couple of guys over here. I mean, something's going to clear at the back of the site, though, with this Thrash.
Just clear all the insides.
Yeah.
Paranoia will hit, though.
Well, still able to try to get this one down, but now the Hunter's Fury looking for a pickoff, and he will get Mind Freak a chance now.
3v3.
Spike planted.
The wall's been spotted, but you do have the flank. You know that they don't have any trips.
She's still gunning for you.
He gets the tag, too. That's huge.
Yep, null command. And now a big chance here for the side of Talon on this retake. Something is on the site. We've got trying to play elbow. Here's Forsaken, and that is going to do it. Jip Boys does get a couple of headshots, and he will be able to get the retake. 12-7 now.
Ooh, didn't quite finish the res there, Lenny. A little bit too excited to go and finish the defuse. But the retake happens fast enough, so they'll be able to try to stack on the Hunter's Fury once again. Talon, they'll need everything, every bit of help. But this, first of all, a great adjustment to go for trap plays over on B made, but Paper X also answer back. They read that it's going to be meant to be a fast rotate, right? It's a push out on one side with the Neon. You expect the fast rotate, you cut off the backup. But at the end of the day, the double hold from Jip Boys and Lenny, heroic stuff for Talon. And once again, just meant to be a delay over by the A site. You've got a trip there. They're leaving mid empty. Paper X hasn't quite figured that part out. I think they have an inkling of it, but they haven't really abused it just yet.
Well, let's see what they do this time around. For now, just hanging out at A lobby and thinking about a push on in there, but as you mentioned, you know, if they wanted to get a little bit frisky in mid, they absolutely could. For now, it's just Forsaken looking in that direction, and they're not going to commit to it. Another push out here from the side of Governor. He's going to get some information over outside of B. And they're going to check mid as Paper X are pushing towards A.
Yeah, so what Talon does throughout this is make Paper X feel like they had all the control, right? They put up a flash drive for mid, they send the recon in B, and then they make Paper X cower in fear, and now they've taken full control. The retake is already set up. All Talon needs to do is wait to spring the trap.
Nice try there from Ban, but it's not quite going to land. And now that should be a denial on the plant. Nicely done from the side of Ban. Now they have to set up the wall here to make sure this happens. No break on the wall, actually, from Ban. And now Forsaken with a double Guardian kill. Bit of a flank coming in from the side of Governor. He's got his ult. He picks up a second. Trying to get on there really quick. The relay bolt should net a third, and yeah, it does. Now he's getting on top of Mind Freak, but Mind Freak is going to win that trade.
Time. They got to play for time.
10 seconds
It's Mind Freak.
Oh! And they wait for the peak. 2v1. Talon, a third round in a row, and a chance.
I feel like we're in like round 40 of an overtime because we're just going into heroic mode from both sides. I mean, Governor, this relay bolt, the triple Lutz, and then the jump in with the zap. Absolutely crucial. And that's the thing about the Neon. I mean, these are the adjustments you're probably wishing, if you're a Talon fan, that you saw both
All right,
sides.
here we go.
It's really hard to see who called the timeout if you just look at the cams here. But Frost, I mean, I think for Frost, Coach Frost, he can feel it, right? It's possible. It's still really tough because you can't ever make a mistake, but you're starting to see the cracks.
He's got his hands up now, and now it's Alex who's slapping his own hand.
It almost looks like they're talking to each other.
Yeah, I love the camera setup there.
Oh man!
But there's obviously a lot of emotions because Paper X, they're on the brink of just okay. You finally got through Talon. Talon eventually put up a great fight, but then Talon won't go out easily, and it's really rough. And now Talon can feel like they're mounting a comeback, and so Frost is getting animated. He's getting excited.
PaperX, they haven't had to deal with this kind of pressure in a long time. You know, getting knocked out early in a regional tournament. I mean, obviously Pacific, it's an international league, but you know, it's starting to really feel like your region, right? This is where you're stationed. They've never been pushed out early.
Well, Talon still need to pick up 4 rounds to force an overtime, and then, maybe then, pick up a win. But let's see, he's going to be taken out.
I mean, both teams had the exact same read about A short.
I can't use that.
Trying to compete for that. Oh, Governor!
Governor gets out there, a couple of headshots, very nice spray.
But look at Ban, he's already here. The flank's covered. No reason to fight this. Cruz even wins it.
Yeah, something just looking for the peak, and now thinking about it, but it's going to be Ban. On the rotation, he picks up another kill and another round for Talon. It's 12-9.
Momentum definitely on the side of Talon at this point. The fact that you both get the read for a fast round and you're able to win it out in duels. I mean, Talon, they make ever such micro adjustments to just not overheat.
Nice.
And they're able to win it, right? They bait Jing to dive in just a bit further. The counter paranoia comes out, and that's enough to keep their own teammates alive. Now half armor is on the side of PaperX. They're getting desperate. They want to try to get as many rifle rounds as possible in the remaining possible 3 before overtime.
One suppressed.
And PaperX is going to play for the orb here.
Yeah,
Something.
this is big.
He picks up his Thrash.
Yeah, Thrash and Showstopper. It's a lot to work with. The Thrash could be used as bait over by B-side as well. But with the setup from Talon right now, they've got full mid control. Defense never really gets mid control on Sunset, so this is massive. The drone even gonna check for 2.
Meanwhile, the peek out from Cruz. He gets the headshot. There's the paranoia. Jing desperately trying to hold on by himself, but now he's got to back out. That spike in a very awkward spot.
Yeah, now this isn't a great spot to hold for Talon either, because there's too many angles, and they're letting themselves get picked apart. They were trying to retreat. They understood that it was a risk. But now it's up to Cruz. They have to play for 1v1s. You're down to a 2v3. You know the spike is down. The rotate has to happen.
Oh, this is getting really tense. Cruz, no, he's going to go down. And the showstopper just to open up any potential corner. And he's going to have Divide lead the charge as they do push in towards A as a team, 3v1.
I mean, Jit Boys, all you can do is wait and hope, but it's never going to come.
10 seconds left.
They'll even use the Thrash, and now they know it has to be the far wraparound.
Jit Boys just has to run over and pull off one of the biggest clutches of his life.
They can just all stay stacked on the side as well, and now they hear him coming around.
Yep. He has to go fast. I mean, it's not a lot of time, but Jit Boys has to get it done, but the triple stack gets it done instead. PaperX will move on to the next round of playoffs.
What a heartbreaking way for it to be the last round for Talon. The read to take over mid. They took down the spike, and they made the right call. It's a dangerous spot to hold. But PaperX Divide. It's always Divide. When PaperX gets